Welcome back to the LCS. It's the upper bracket finals today at the Riot Games Arena, and the winner will earn themselves a spot in next Sunday's finals. First up, they've been in the spotlight all through Lock In, from being at the top of preseason power rankings to immediately showing why on the Rift. Now, they're potentially just 2 series away from first stand. Please welcome Cloud9. And their opponents, the new team on the block, looking to pull off the upset and avoid the chaos awaiting in the lower bracket, it's Sentinels. Will the favorites continue their winning ways, or will the underdogs pull off some upper bracket magic? The LCS starts right now as we are about to jump into this best of 5 to see who gets the fast pass, avoiding that long gauntlet, that drawn-out battle next weekend.
It feels like so far this tournament, Cloud9 have had a fast pass. They're going to the front of the line. They don't wait in any lines. They're instantly on the ride. They're winning. They're smashing people.
Pushing all the little kids out of the way.
Exactly. It's like they definitely paid for the fast pass. And Cloud, I also saw, during your very good and dramatic intro, APA's giggling and like typing already and stuff.
How rude. How could he?
Like, come on, man. Have some respect. Flowers trying to hype you guys
Decorum,
up.
please. Come on.
But it is good to see. They're definitely in good spirits.
Yeah.
And there's been some back and forth, especially Impact with a lot of these players as well, with some light banter. So we'll see. I talked to Huhi right before, and he's like, yeah, Cloud9, they are at the top. They deserve to be at the top, but we have cooked up some of our own secret weapons, maybe.
That's going to be exciting to see. See if they can upset everyone's predictions, because, across the board in the lounge, all 3 zeros. Pretty much everyone I'm seeing talking about this online is thinking, yeah, Cloud9, yep, they're going to be guaranteed to win, and then we'll have to see what happens after that. But there almost always are some upsets in playoffs, almost always, so it'll be exciting to see if Sentinels can throw a wrench in the gears of Cloud9's plans today.
I think if all of the analysts agree on the same prediction, and it's wrong, then we should have some sort of punishment.
Sure, I'm not an analyst today, so I agree.
Some of those spicy chips left somewhere in the pantry around here.
And since we're bringing up this
on another day, I don't know if I'd be with you, but today,
since we're bringing this idea up live on air, I think they're going to have to do it.
I think so too.
There you go.
All right, let's get into the draft here. The Ziggs respect for APA remains very much true, and the Thanatos respect for the Aurora here. He is a monster Aurora up there. Thanatos has some very specific champions, but he is very, very fearsome on all of them. The Renekton and the Gnar type things also go into that bucket. Rumble is banned here, so that takes one more off the top lane list.
Yeah, Rumble's banned away. The Orianna and the Varus are banned out, and critically, Nico gets banned here. So Ori's banned away, but Azir is not. Oftentimes, these get banned away in pairs, so I'm curious if that's going to be Cloud9's first pick priority here.
I also really like the Nico ban, not just because it is a powerful support, because APA is also willing to play it, right? He's one of the only mid laners that is kind of playing it these days, so it is a little bit of a double ban. But Taliyah plus Pantheon, prime combo. Taliyah, I think, is APA's best champ these days, at least that we're seeing him actually be allowed to play.
Yeah, and Taliyah is a nullifier for Azir, so the Azir you're talking about, Flowers, it is a high priority, and even though APA has, this year and then at the end of last year, been a lot better on Azir than in the past, they still seem like they want to play this style where, he is going to be on a mid lane champion that could really play for jungle. And so they are going to go for the Taliyah. Yeah, I would assume they're going Taliyah plus either Pantheon or Vi type champions for Blabber. This is an important takeaway from Thanatos, though. Stealing away the Ambessa, which could go to jungle for Hambach if they don't want impact on a top carry champion. It looks like they don't instantly. So it's not instantly revealed the flex pick is not really that flexible for this team.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is Renekton is up. It's one of Thanatos' best champs, and that's a really hard matchup. So I was going to be assuming that it probably would go jungle.
And you basically, if it's a full best of 5 fearless, you headshot 2 Thanatos champions in the first game is really good.
Bang.
Take his Ambessa out, take his Renekton out. Those will be permanently banned for the rest of the series.
I think Gnar, though, seems then the obvious option. I think it's a really strong champ. It's a good answer into the Renekton, so that's kind of what I'm expecting to be locked in, and there it is.
3 of them out in the first game.
Yeah, we'll see, though. You have to be able to last long enough in the series for this to come into play, but I do like this strategy, and we'll see how Hanbok can perform in it, because Hanbok, to me, has had really good early games. He seems like a player who wants to take risks, and when they pay off, he looks amazing. When they don't, sometimes the game snowballs the other way.
And I feel like having a Gnar, having a powerful side lane champion feels extra good when you have this Taliyah Pantheon combo. You guys mentioned Pantheon and Vi both being great pairings. I personally like seeing Pantheon with Taliyah more because they both have the double super long range ultis. You can just make absolute chaos in side lanes.
And we actually discussed this a lot on the dive, but how well APA and Blabber have been playing together. When you have point and click stun to set up seismic shove combos, like these two can just wreak havoc. So going to be fairly difficult, I would think, for Darkwing Seer as far as the jungle pressure goes, because Pantheon early Pantheon ganks with flash point and click stun are going to be way more fearsome than Mbessa coming at you and just trying to you know, walk and dash in range here. So Blabber has been an absolute terror early on. We'll see if it does continue. Bottom lane priority, though. A lot of you know, bans coming through here towards some of these enchanters, you know, like Nami and stuff. Lane priority definitely will be big.
It will, and that's why I'm thinking about, you know, we've been seeing more Ashe Seraphine around the world. That is something that is up and available. Of course, Sentinels will have last pick, so they are going to be having the option to try to counterpick down in bot side. There's already some pretty good engage on the C9 side, so they maybe are kind of less needing that. I do think Sentinels needs a go button, and Huhi, just like as a player for this team, it generally feels really important for him to be on engage, so I feel like they have less of an option to go towards the enchanters, but obviously Cloud9 disagrees because they're double banning enchanters. Yeah,
they really want to be able to get some lane priority for themselves on bottom side of the map. And it really does make a lot of sense, because like Flowers is saying, if you're running Taliyah and Pantheon for later in the game, you can make a lot of side lane plays, and you're assuming that Gnar is going to scale into being a good side lane threat as well in the hands of Thanatos. Seems like a safe bet there. But Bard is a really good one at kind of stuffing some of those plays. It covers a lot of these like side lane bases, and some defensive Bard ults could go a long way.
Yeah, and it gives you a little bit more engage, right? You can set up then. You throw down the Bard ult on Taliyah or whoever, then the Renekton and whatnot come in to follow up on that. Plus, it's a great denial from Vulcan. So I actually really like Sentinels' draft priorities in this first game. You talked about it with Thanatos. I think they're doing the same thing with Vulcan. They're trying to target picks that are both good for them and denials from their opponents. We're going to get Yunara plus Lulu down on the bottom side, though. And it's going to be answered by Corki. So some pretty good laning power for Sentinels in the 2v2, but some really strong scaling for Sven and Vulcan.
Yeah, and this is something that you know, Sven has been very aggressive on. When they've run this duo, you know, constantly jumping in, trying to push out the enemy AD carry from mid lane. So I think the mid game in this first one is going to be very, very impactful. Okay. Going to be really interesting to keep track of these side lanes. You know, with one side having Realm Warp and Bard, and the other side having Taliyah Pantheon here. It's going to put a lot of emphasis as well on the top lane matchup to see who is going to actually get a lead for individual top laner who can actually have some side lane pressure. Can Impact, who has been having a better year this year than last year for sure, can he hold up to Thanatos counterpick Gnar?
It's going to be exciting to see. I'm also really curious to see how C-Line's bot lane is going to perform in the 2v2. I think they were great overall in this series against Fly. Obviously, they dominated, but they did die in the 2v2 every single game. All 3 games, they died to Masu and Cryogen. Twice they died in the 2v2, and then once it was a 2v1, so that's a little bit different, but did catch one person out and were able to kill him. So have to be able to clean that up against what we're expecting to be a tougher opponent here today in Rahel and Huhi.
I mean, we heard in Kobe's interview with Huhi during waiting room, right, during the lounge, that he's saying, all right, everybody on C9, they've got weapons. The rest of us are kind of fist fighting, but we think we're developing some weapons now of our own. And if that 2v2 can be the secret weapon here in game 1, that's going to feel great, especially with all of these Thanatos picks being disabled in the top side for the rest of the series, like you guys are talking about. Runes popping up on your screen right now. Summoner's Spellbook for APA's Taliyah stands out to me in particular. I want to see how creative he can get with that.
I just think it's great. To me, it's a really solid rune if you think it's just going to be be a scaling matchup. You know, you're just going to be farming. You're not really going to be interacting that much. You can get a lot of value later on. But we talked about it. You touched on it, Kobe. Impact is having a much better year. Last year, to me, was historically one of his worst, if not his worst year ever in the LCS. He has been a top performer for such a long time. And it was so strange because it came off the back of the year before that, him winning an MVP and then going into this real slump. So he is back now. He's performing a lot better. And he is currently holding second place for most assists all time. First place in the LCS is held by Aframu still by quite a lot. But there's two other players here that are, you know, hot on his tail, shall we say, for that second place in this series with Huhi and Vulcan, two veterans of the scene.
Yeah, and when you look at the difference between Vulcan and Impact here, it's what, 59 assists? If you have a best of 5 that goes the full distance, that's entirely achievable. So we'll keep an eye on how those assists stack up as we go throughout the series. If anybody can steal someone else's position. Right now, though, at the beginning of our game number 1, Huhi is going to take a little bit of punishment down here in that bottom lane 2v2 as Sven and Vulcan want to continue to control the wave. Of course, Huhi has his little shrines. Junglers are pathing towards opposite directions here early on in this one.
Yeah, that's the big thing here with the Pantheon, especially for Blabber. What sort of early impact can he get? And that's why I really like that ward that they put super early on in the river. Sven and Vulcan now going kind of aggressive off the wave and trying to get something out of the bottom lane before the Pantheon does come. But the early wards here are going to mean a lot too, because Blabber's got options for bottom lane or possibly trying to make a stun play here towards Darkwings and see if they could get an early summoner spell.
Okay, Impact's got that wave crashing in topside, so control up there for him means that it should be easy enough for Hambach to guarantee that he has access to this topside Scuttle Crab here with those about to spawn. You could see the wave also being crashed into the bottom lane tier 1 there by Cloud9, so they've got that same control for Blabber on this bottom part of the map, and it's looking like we're not going to get any of the crazy early crab battles, and we'll just have to wait until the usual level 6 one.
Yeah, and Bessa want to path away from the Pantheon side and pushing bottom lane here. Both of them getting their recalls off. You know, it's Cole for Yunara and Tyr for Corki. They're both fine with that. Blabber drops off the extra Raptor ward. He did pass through over the ward, so they know he's here, and they're not going to let him get the fairly efficient, little bit lazy recall off. But look at the Krug respawn timer. It's not super soon, and Hambach, since he did start Raptors, he's got the early Raptor respawn. This has become a big issue. We just saw yesterday, defending your second Raptors can win you a whole game or lose you a whole game if you int over them. So,
you know, sometimes in life you just got to make a stand, you know?
Probably not
and for
at
junglers,
second Raptors.
it's at the second Raptors.
I don't know if it's
I'm
worth
willing
the whole
to lose
game.
the whole series, end my career over these Raptors.
Well, hey, you
That's
can
the
see
line I'm drawing.
The communication with your support is important as well. You know, Huhi, since they did have that ward that was in the river there to see it come in, they're like, hey, Huhi, get over here too. Just make sure we're going to protect these. And nobody wants to fight super early on, so it means Blabber will go into a regular top-down clear again because his was a little bit delayed, starting on the red buff. Means that he's not missing any time with the interrupt. You know, he got his second Krugs respawn basically as they respawned. Same thing here with Raptors, so he still remains efficient.
Yep, Hambach going to be feeling pretty happy, though. Had a really fast clear, got to do both the respawns of those little camps, and now is out on Wolves with a better buy, has the Tunneler, so going to be pretty strong right now. And, of course, when you do get 6 for Hambach, yes, Gnar can be difficult to lane against, for the Renekton, especially once he has steel caps. Both of them are going to rush steel caps, let's be real. But the move speed becomes really, really difficult, and it's so easy when you're in mini Gnar then. Post 6, Renekton stuns, in comes the public execution, and you can sometimes get that 100-0 play.
Got a little time here. When you do the Raptor start, has a little bit of extra time. He actually dropped his Gromp to make this play, though. So Impact wants a dive. Level 6 for Renekton here. Look at that Gnar bar. Thanatos is charging it up. Hambach in the area, and Rise Realm Warp will be 3.
Okay, Thanatos is already in Mega Gnar. He slams Impact into the wall, but the burst damage comes down. The final turret shot can't fire, and Sentinels draw first blood.
Really well played there. I didn't think they were going to be able to pull that off until I see Darkwing's Realm Warping in. The 2v1 dive would have been really risky, but Impact gets out without even having to flash. That is a big win. And Darkwing's, nice move from him. Yes, he's going to lose a plate. Yes, they're going to lose the dragon, so there is a cost to that, but that is a great play.
Yeah, and they called it really early on. You could tell he was like, Hambach, drop your Gromp right now, get over here, we're going for the dive, Realm Warp. The mini-map does show what is being taken by Cloud9 on the opposite side, but also remember First Blood. So it would have been bad if the counter kill went over, because then you lose your mid-turret plate and you lose the Dragon as well. But remember, the First Blood extra bonus is back in the game, so you get that extra boost of gold on top of it.
It is a small thing, but honestly, watching the replay back, I think if Thanatos angled his Gnar ult differently and actually pulled Impact towards the tower instead of towards the wall.
Just straight into the wall.
Yeah, I think he might have been able to get him.
Ooh, meanwhile, public execution here in the mid lane, and Hambach's not done. The jungler is off to a flying start here, 2-0 on the Mbessa.
Hambach always likes to get active pretty early on, and it's successfully active. Immediately using the ultimate as soon as you get it always feels so good. Put it on cooldown, make use of it the next time for your next play. He does invest the double flash. It is Darkwing's flash and Hambach's flash to make that play, but it is beautiful. The synergy right there between them. And it looks like, you know, the communication where I interviewed Huhi before, and he's like, well, we're 70% Korean right now.
That's the 30, baby.
Yeah, Darkwings was locked in. They're like, all right, we're both flashing for this play.
Yep.
I'm going to set it up. Boom, CC chain, and they get their target. They kill off APA. Sentinels here showing some of the weaponry they were talking about.
I mean, this is just really nice. It's pretty simple play, but Flash, Room Prison, lands the stun, then Flash, Public Execution there to follow it up. We talked about how you can do that with Renekton. Obviously, you can do that with Ryze here as well. Yep. So, nice play from Hambach, and he is sitting on a ton of gold. He is still just being so efficient, re-clearing all his camp support bases. He's going to be on over 1,800 gold, so he's got a full item when he actually goes back to base here, pretty much, and he is going to be really tough to deal with. This champion scales incredibly well, I think, in the jungle. And because there is such good setup from the Bard, from the Ryze, from the Renekton, he is in a good position to have a great game.
Yeah, I mean, generally you're expecting the Pantheon with the point and click, you know, early levels to, you know, have some sort of openings. But Cloud9 have also been focused on the objective, so they did get their Dragon, was one of the payments there. And APA at least knocked off the mid turret plate, the first one. Those baby turrets plates are pretty easy to take, and of course Sentinels also got their one after the dive up here. So we'll see about the ramifications of that play afterwards. Impact seems to be doing quite well in the early stages, and it does set them up for the grubs take. So Hambach feeling quite good on those grubs. Doesn't look like there's going to be anyone contesting him. And they've told the bottom lane, hey, you're weak side right now. Try and play safe.
Okay, you can see APA and Blabber moving into the enemy jungle, though, thinking about using that Taliyah and Pantheon combo to make something happen. We do have the wave already crashed into the bottom lane tier 1 turret here by C9, but there's no move from the mid jungle.
And it's interesting, Hambach backed off after one. So you just want to take one really quick grub, back off, and he got enough money there to buy his Spear of Sojin. Sojin rush for the Mbessa. So first item completed very early on here for the 2-kill Mbessa. There's tons of wards, though. Whenever you kind of leave that bottom side of the map, you know when you're retaking this area, you see all these Cloud9 wards.
Oh, yeah.
And Hambach knows it. Yes, we just left this area unattended, so there's going to be plenty of vision here.
Yeah, it's kind of just a line of wards all through. So well done there by C9. Of course, you know, they moved in on the bot side, as you're saying. That's kind of that price that you do pay. Sven and Vulcan farming well. They do have a slight advantage, but of course, you're going to be pretty happy about that when you are playing the Lulu Yunara. You know, less laning power here.
Okay, Blabber up in the top side, looking to find the kill onto Impact. Thanatos already hits him with the Mega Gnar. They don't have quite enough damage, though. Impact with a flash away, stays alive.
Yeah, good defensive play from Impact. You know, backed off early as he saw the aggressive positioning from Thanatos and the Mega Gnar walking at him, and then he's able to use his flash after Blabber had to use his for the engage. So it is a 1-for-1 on Summoner spell trade, and really, Impact is fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 1-for-1 on that, but the cost to me, the biggest cost is the Pantheon ult is such a long cooldown. It's nearly a 3-minute cooldown early game.
Yeah.
So when I see my Pantheon jungle hasn't been able to find anything, on the other side you have 2-0 Mbessa, and then you use your first ult and you get nothing from that either, like that hurts because, you know, Blabber's not going to have much playmaking now until, you know, really after this next dragon fight would already be done, so they're not going to contest it. It's just going to be a dragon take on the bot side for the Mbessa.
Yeah, and again, now they're the ones with the deep wards because top side play was Cloud9's. They show junglers, so not only is it your Pantheon ult as well as your Pantheon Flash, but it gives vision of your jungler and allowed Hambach and Sentinels to move into the blue quadrant. They're the ones with the deep wards now. They're the ones with the Dragon Take.
And gentlemen, we get to have the Hex Rift for our first game in this best of 5. The most chaotic of the rifts, the one that allows the fastest playmaking, the fastest responses. And I want to see if Sentinels are up to the task of using that to continue trying to accelerate the game. Hambach had a great first couple of plays, but things have been pretty quiet afterwards.
Honestly, I actually like it. Usually I'm like, oh, quiet, you know, I'm getting a little bored, but I really like it because we've had so many blowouts so far. This week we had back-to-back 3-0s, and this one is looking very competitive here, at least in the early stages. Huhi has been able to slip in for a lane gank.
Okay.
Oh, just barely couldn't get range actually for the stun. And that's going to give some freedom to make a play on the bot side for Blabber. But they're sending 4 top now. They're looking to just try to re-dive Thanatos.
Yeah, they want Thanatos, but he's already turned into Mega Gnar, and he's stopping the wave before it ever hits the turret. So there's nothing there to set this up. And Sentinels are going to send all that manpower up there for nothing so far.
That was 5 top.
And it results in a 1.2k gold lead now for Sven individually. Look at this Yunar just decimating the bottom tower here. Cloud9, they still have Blabber. They can go for a dive or try and get first tower. They've got 4.
Yep, they're bringing everybody down here. Impact has already popped the Dominus, trying to clear the wave out of the way and stop this from going down. But no, it's C9 finally finding their first kill of the game. 12 minutes in, they make the 4-man dive happen.
Yeah, the wheels just kind of fell off there for Sentinels. They way overcommitted to that topside play. They were too slow to actually execute on it. You send 5 top, Thanatos clears the wave, so he's not even losing anything before he bases. And on the bot side, Sven is farming plates. They make the dive happen down there. Sven is now 1.7k up, and Sentinels went from 1,000 gold lead to a 600 gold deficit in a matter of a minute, 2 minutes. And now the tower is going to fall as well. This game is already getting out of hand. Sven is going to be such a problem. He's going to base with, let's see, 2,500 gold in pocket.
Yeah, first tower bonus feels really good for the bottom lane. Even though it's answered on top side, it's being that much slower really does have a huge effect. And the extra kill into Sven's pockets as well. I mean, Yunara is an AD carry champion that can certainly carry against short-range clumps of champions very, very heavily.
Especially with Lulu in her back pocket, that is frightening for Sentinels to try to assassinate this high-value target. Fiend Hunter Bolt's just completely purchased straight up right there for the Yunara.
He one-shots it already. His ult is going to be insane. Yunara ult here is going to be the biggest cooldown that you have to play around.
And I always feel like it's so difficult when you have a team comp like this. As Impact is going to be pushing Thanatos back, but he should be fine. Because clearly now, Yunara is so fed that Sentinels basically can't win fights unless you kill Yunara first, right? So that is now your goal. But then you look around him, and you're having to go through Pantheon, through the Unraveled Earth of the Taliyah with all these champions that want to dash in and get on top of him, and then through the Lulu shields and the Polymorph and the Barrier, and like there's so many tools that it is really, really rough now for Sentinels to have allowed Sven to get this fed. Because there's a lot of tools that you're going to have to deal with to even try to get access to him.
Okay, I'm seeing a little bit of pathing. I'm just trying to watch because everybody's hanging out in this like southern quadrant of the map, and I want to see if they want to make a move. He's the one finding himself in danger. Arc of Ruin plus the Wild Growth. It's Vulcan taking the kill, but C9's bottom lane, they're showing us what this farm means.
Yeah, you can just feel it. Sven's like, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. I want to use it. And as soon as he sees any target, and Huhi even being close to the brush, he immediately jumps the wall, destroys him. Fiend Hunter Bolt's on display there. You saw how quickly he was able to burst him down. Plus it gives you ultimate ability haste, so it'll be back up again for another play, and they should have control of the next dragon here, you would assume, for Cloud9.
Yet the Yunara ulti is already halfway off cooldown. That thing is coming back around real fast.
Yeah, it is really a quick cooldown here. Sentinel's going to try to make a fast play. While it is still on cooldown, though, going to try to grab the Herald. You can see it is the Ardent Sensor rush for Vulcan. So he's just saying, you know what? It is all about Sven. Just get all of the buff items for Sven. You already have the additional attack speed. Obviously, you're giving him from the Whimsy if you're using that offensively. Plus the Ardent Sensor on hit damage as well as the attack speed there. And that is just amplifying him that much further.
And as long as Sven can get peeled by both the Lulu and the Taliyah, it makes it incredibly hard for Ambessa. If you have a rock field in front of you, you just have to back off. You have to like walk away. No way he's going to be able to fight over it. So like you've been saying, like Sven has a lot of stuff around him that also makes it easy to play. Double summoner spells, lots of setup from his teammates. Here comes that dragon we're talking about. Cloud9, they've got the control wards really early, so they also have vision advantage and early positioning.
Yup, and the wild growth is just about ready to go again here for the Lulu, but the fight's already going to start, and it's a lot of damage onto Hambach. The Fed Ambess is about to get bursted down, polymorphed, and Thanatos takes the kill. Now Impact's got to try to get away, but Sven is on the hunt. APA rides the Weaver's Wall, and Rahel barely escapes. C9 find 2 kills very easily and go to claim their prize.
Yeah, I mean, Hambach is in there almost alone. Over the rocks, just gets destroyed very quickly. Even like Hui Bard ults, like, to try and buy some time. Maybe they could think of a way to get him out of there afterwards, but unsuccessful. And Cloud9 very quickly making it look like, no, this is going to be a one-sided affair here because of the vision advantage in that side rush.
Yeah, vision advantage comes through. Bardal just to give you some time to think about what you've done. Think about your mistakes in life. Wonder how you got there, as Sven is going to clear it up. They are just crushing through this fight, and now the game is really out of control.
And this is the thing. With Cloud9's success as it continues, this tournament, what has really been on the biggest display, because, yeah, a lot of these guys are really good individual players, but their team synergy and the way they pull off really quick snap plays has been what has really rewarded this team. A lot of them have been through the mid-game. It hasn't been just like, oh, we're crushing all the lanes from the very beginning.
Okay, sorry. Thought we almost had another Hambach kill there underneath the tier 1 turret.
A healthy amount of worry, and Thanatos now trying to get away as Mininar will have to flash, but Cloud9's synergy has been on display, and this is one of the things that people thought as we take a look at the Pantheon ult. Started it all.
Pretty simple Pantheon ult. They knew that Corgi had no flash, so he gets in behind him.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see now. Hambach going towards the enemy jungle. They still want to try to make this move onto Thanatos, who does have his Gnar bar charged. The turret is disabled there by the Bard ulti, but now the stun underneath the Mega Gnar to follow it up, but no, he's still all alone. Thanatos will fall. Sentinels doesn't lose anybody, and they're going to try to force down this tier 1 turret.
And nicely done by Hui. He goes down towards bot side, forces a flash from Thanatos, and then just sets up the redive, turn off the tower. Thanatos really couldn't have played it any better, but Hui's tanking the tower at max range, so nothing he can do to knock him down. Darkwings is getting punished a little bit here by Sven, who's just, Sentinels knows they can't fight around Sven. They have to just try to go elsewhere, try to get picks in the side lanes, hope that you can buy some time for someone to catch up, because Sven is basically the whole lead. Like, he's 3K ahead individually, and that is ridiculous at this point of the game. Sitting on almost 1,200 gold, so almost has his BF, and that means he is closing in on that Infinity Edge, where Rahel is miles away from anything resembling that.
Yeah, so I think that you're going to have to try and continue to make some side lane plays here for Sentinels. You want to try and get your way back into this, get split push on some of these side lanes going and see if you can make some sort of roam or realm warp over to the other side. Hui's Bard ultimate is still on cooldown from the previous play, but next time it is up, there's no flash on Yunara. And it makes it difficult because her ultimate, she can just instantly go for another dash anyway. But maybe they can do something there while the Sven flash is down and he's a little bit more vulnerable.
Sentinels do have some power spikes on the horizon, but it is still a little ways away. You can see the stacking items are all still in the process of stacking, right? The Muramana, not quite there yet. The Manamune only 3/4 of the way stacked for Rahel. Meanwhile, in Darkwing's inventory, still needs 3 more stacks on Rod of Ages. Just about has the Seraph's Embrace fully evolved, though. And once they hit those power spikes, that might be the green light that they need to feel like, hey, we can make a bigger move.
Yeah. And while the Yunara gets the spotlight, the Lulu is a really problematic one because on the side of Sentinels, your fed person is your melee jungle carry, but Lulu just makes melee carries life's hell. It's so annoying to play into this champion. And so we're going to go for another pick from the side of C9 here, Blabber Olsen.
Wow, they are full sending it after impact here. Originally, I thought they might not be able to get him, and I was right. Thanatos' first boomerang, just barely missing impact, is the difference between C9 finding that kill or not.
And they're summoning Herald topside, so we'll see if they can actually get this full tower. Looks like they can, so That's something nice for Sentinels. They survived the play here, and they're at least getting something back on the top side. Going to be able to realm warp out. I didn't know you could realm warp the Herald, actually.
Oh, I wanted him to charge right out of it, but it went instantly into the wall.
Darkwings is in some danger. He's got to try to get out of there. Is Polymorph, but luckily he does have the Ghost to get himself all the way out alongside the Phase Rush. So C9's not going to get a kill there, but they do force the Summoner spells out of the Rise.
I was hoping we were going to see the teleport car crash play, where you teleport the Herald in and immediately like run someone over, but not quite there. Too close to a wall.
Not going to be able to make it happen, but still, nice play from them. And we're going to get the replay of the realm warp.
It's facing up right now, and then it goes right next to the wall, so I assume it's like instantly donked.
Yeah, it just immediately bangs into the wall. All right.
Scientific term.
Yeah.
Donk.
I hate it when I donk my car into the wall.
Who he did say Cloud9 are the ones that are like scientists, and then we are the ones that are just going to throw our fists at them, let our fists do the talking. Okay.
All right, they're trying to make a play onto Thanatos here, and as soon as Hambach shows up, that might be what they need, but the Tempered Fate does not catch the Gnar. Thanatos now back into mini form as Hambach has made his way into the fight. C9, meanwhile, are going to secure the Drake for themselves, but it does cost their top laner.
Yeah, Cloud9 got to be careful. If you give away too many of these plays on side lanes, that gold can add up. Currently, though, they're still fairly confident with their mid push.
Yep.
But look at the side lanes. Renekton's still pushing bottom, so it's kind of closing in around them. Sentinels will be able to get the Scuttle Crab by Baron. Can they use it as a bait? I don't think they actually want to start it much, but would rather like bait and see if anyone comes to check for C9s. Cloud9 not going to unnecessarily put anyone at risk, though.
Yeah, it's so dangerous for Sentinels to go close to Sven with that Infinity Edge completed, with the Fiend Hunter bolts. Those first 3 shots are just high caliber hits.
You probably die in the first 3 shots.
Yeah, the first 3, if you're not Impact or maybe Hambach, you just kind of die to it instantly. It's really, really strong. The Yunara has to be respected now more than ever. And the problem is, it's 4 minutes from now that Sentinels must answer the Drake. Cloud9 now on Soul Point, and this is why it's so difficult to deal with compositions like this Yunara that has all this protection, because now Cloud9 is just going to show up as 5 and say, all right, you have to fight Yunara now. You have no choice.
So Cloud9, a lot of things going well for them. Something not going as well for them is Thanatos has been really wanting a player of the game. He was talking on the Cloud9 podcast. You know, he was saying how they need to stop winning so early because he can't actually get MVP, can't get player of the game. And then Thanatos himself was saying, you know, in their last series, Game 3, if it went long, he was going to 1v9, he was going to win it. But unfortunately, it did not go long. They closed it out too quick, and they were kind of joking back and forth. This was a podcast with Anero as well as Vulcan. Vulcan was saying, "Okay, don't worry. If we're about to get a kill next game, we're gonna back off so you can have more time to 1v9." So we decided we were gonna track, you know, who is on the race towards player of the game, Kobe.
Well, I think this game...
It's not looking good for Thanatos. I would say we have someone out to an obvious early lead. Want to give us the marker of where he is. How close is he to the finish line?
Like at least halfway right now. He's like all the way out to here. Thanatos, I mean, it's not that close to 30 minutes.
He's driving the wrong way.
So maybe he makes some more gains later on, but I think Sven is
out to the early lead.
Yeah,
AP's been having a good game.
Vulcan also. You know, he's part of that.
Gotta give credit to the Lulu.
W's.
Credit to the Lulu.
He maxed W this game.
Yunara wouldn't be who she is without the Lulu, okay? Every good Yunara has a Lulu right beside them.
All right, we'll see if Thanatos can have his 1v9 mega moment, but it's going to be hard to outpace this Yunara, man.
Yeah, to be fair, we're 24 and a half minutes, so he's got some. They told him we'll give you to 30.
Slow it down.
We'll give you to 30 minutes.
Okay. We need some pentakills or something though to catch up.
Yeah, some.
A couple. Was Vulcan also not too surprising, but you were talking about how annoying it is to play as a melee carry against Lulu. Yeah. He did go W max this game, so he went 1 point Q, 3 points E, and then just full 5 points into the W. So that polymorph is going to be that much more frustrating. It really is so difficult to deal with. I mean, you fly in there. There's no other way to play the fight. You have to go into the backline as Mbessa, but you immediately are going to get polymorphed and wild growth.
Sentinels going in, trying to find the Pantheon, but Blabber blocks almost all of the damage. Flashing away, trying to stay safe, getting the other side of the unraveled earth, and now C9 fires back. Darkwings, defensive flash getting out. Thanatos, wild growth here on the front line. APA tries to scatter. Sven looking for the damage, trying to find Huhi. Gets one kill. Hambach goes after Sven, but he can't kill him. The pocket Lulu is there for the save. It's a triple kill for Sven's Yunara. Impact will fall now as well. well. The fight was so close at the start, but C9 comes out on top.
That's why I put Vulcan up there in the race. He flashed over the wall to get there when Sven dashes in for the 1v3 at the end.
Yeah, Sven just kind of biding his time. Blabber, it looks like, is going to be in some trouble. They're able to focus him down, but watch Sven right here. He finds his time, flashes forward. As Rahel was moving up, he was focusing him down, and then as he bounced back, just flashes in and Vulcan follows.
And I'm pretty sure he just dodged the Ambessa ult with the same move. He dodges the Ambessa ult and gets into their faces, and then the Lulu flashes in to support the play. Like, that was quite good for Cloud9.
C9 looking strong after that one. 5,000 gold lead after they take the fight. Hambach is still the only one on the Sentinel side with an individual lead for himself, but Sven is up 5,000 gold on Rahel.
All right, Isaiah, what's our update?
He's getting pretty close to the finish line. It's going to take a miraculous comeback.
Yeah, where's
Vulcan's still there with him. You know,
yeah, he's there.
He's there too.
In, yeah.
He's saying, "Good job, buddy. You can do it."
Did Thanatos get like shorter, or is it the same?
He's like there.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
It's not this game.
Hey, it's a best of 5. He'll have plenty of
effort.
chances to get his player of the game here. But Sven does now have Lord Dominic's regards as well here on the Yunara. Sentinels thinking about how they're going to try to position and play this. Remember, the Drake is now alive. This is the Hextech Soul if C9 can secure it. So Sentinels are trying to make a gambit for the Baron instead. C9 trying to answer as Thanatos zones impact away. APA and Vulcan on the approach. It's all about Sven. Huhi wrapping around the back of the pit, just trying to keep an eye on how C9 are positioning. Hambach has lost half his HP, and Darkwings has nearly done the same.
I like the camera we have on Sven right there. He's doing a lot of talking, especially for an AD carry. But when you are the center and you know it, yeah, exactly. But when you are the center, you are so fed right now. It's like the game is in our hands, and they have the Hextech Soul on top of it. No fight necessary for that Soul because of all the previous ones that they have won. But it is a huge power spike, and you know Sven knows he is the king in the castle right now. So. Let everybody know what you want to do, and they will just play around you.
And he has the LDR completed as well. Rahel has kind of made a pit stop for more of a utility item. He has a Serpent's Fang. He's going to be going Collector next, so it's like IE is so far away. He's never going to finish this game, realistically. But Sven is going to be just pumping, and APA has had the Actualizer for a long time. Now he has the Death Cap and 8 stacks on the Darksteel, so he is also a real threat.
We actually haven't been tracking that horse in our race, the APA horse or the Blabber horse either. So just because the Sven one is so far out in the front.
It's a flashy horse.
Well, they're going to have...
It's also the tallest horse.
True. We just can't see the other horses. He's blocking the view.
Stands so high.
Are you with us, Flowers? Are you visualizing the horses?
I'm imagining the tall Sven horse right now as C9 are imagining a Baron for themselves. Sentinels is going to have to find some kind of an answer here. The Baron is already down to 4,000 HP. Tempered Fate going to buy them only a moment. Sentinels got to try to get in there as C9 are going to go ahead and secure the objective. Hambach jumps in only to die. Thanatos gets back to the safety of his team, and the remaining 4 Sentinels now have to scatter. The Weaver's Wall sends APA to his own demise, but Sven is still free firing. Blabber barely gets away. Wild Growth onto the jungler as they pick up the additional kill there onto Impact. Sven can't get anyone else, so it is a 2-for-1 trade favoring C9, and they acquire the Baron.
Honestly, I respect it from Hambach. He's like, you know what? I'm going to try and steal it. I ult in. It's a little bit too late, but it's really hard to pull that play off anyways. Afterwards, though, a little surprise kill here they get on APA.
Yeah, APA is just going too far. You know, I think his thought process is Lulu's behind me. We have Wild Growth. You know, you can heal Wild Growth. You can kind of bait them, keep the fight going, and then Sven just cleans up. But he went a little bit too far.
Sorry, bro, that Wild Growth. It only works when I click it on Yunara.
Combo 2 seconds. I'm going next inside. Go next, no flash. No flash, too.
No flash.
The flash, though, still good. They got Baron, they have Hex Soul, and they've got the red buff on top.
Oh, Dokla's going to join us.
Oh, cool.
Big desk.
Yeah.
Our desk is not that big over there with the
Dokla of the famed Worlds vlogs.
Yeah.
We all love a good Nihao Dokla here.
When we toss it back to them, that better be how they answer.
We need Dokla to intro the analyst desk. We're throwing it to Dokla, not the rest of them.
Yeah. I'm not tossing it to Raz.
Pipe down, Raz.
Yeah, we're only doing the toss specifically to Dokla after this game.
Yep.
And C9's looking to make that a very near occurrence. They're 8,000 gold ahead. They've got the Hex Soul. They've got 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining on their Baron power play, and they're pushing the top lane.
It's truly fortunate that we have a top laner to analyze the huge impact that top laners have had in this game.
1-4-2 and 1-3-4.
Huge.
1 kill versus 1 kill.
130 gold lead for Thanatos. Is that player game material?
There you go. There you go.
There.
And even after all this time, Hambach still has his individual gold lead on the Ambessa. However, it has shrank down to 300. Meanwhile, Sven's individual gold lead, 6,500. Weaver's Wall going to cut off Sentinels from trying to defend the tier 3 turret. They can still get there in time as the wave does start to get eradicated by the damage. Impact off to the side a little bit compared to everybody else, seeing if maybe Sven will step just a little bit too far up. Impact does have flash now, so they can try to go for a flash Ruthless Predator, but it's so hard to burst down this Yunara through the Lulu protecting him. And now Sven, just a couple more auto attacks, will take out the tier 3 turret. Thanatos split pushing over in the mid lane here at the same time. Blabber's going to take a little bit of damage, but he can resist most of it because he's Pantheon. Will finally fall. Hambach gets that kill, but Sven has already jumped in and equalized, taking one back on Impact. Now Hambach will die next. Vulcan takes the kill on that. It's 2 dead on the Sentinel side, but the remaining 3 are barely clinging to life. Sven and Vulcan are saying, that's all right, you guys go PvP, we're gonna end the game. Thanatos gets an additional kill, and Sven takes out the first Nexus turret. He and Vulcan will put in the work here on the second one. TP coming in on the minion just to reinforce the C9 lines. APA has rejoined the team. Darkwings flashes away from a seismic shove. Thanatos hops right on in to try to force the rise even further back. C9 wants to pad the stats a little bit as Sven looks for the additional kill here on Rahel and shoots him down in his own fountain. They'll complete the ace, and C9 take game 1.
Sven ends the game with an individual gold lead of 8.6K.
At least delete the 2.
Yeah, there you go. Be the true blabberfish.
Then everyone's going to wonder who's the original.
Yeah. Do you want to be the 2 blabberfish or the true blabberfish?
He keeps the people guessing.
All right, all right. Welcome back, everybody, to the LCS. It is our upper bracket final between C9 and Sentinels. Game 1, honestly, started pretty close for quite a while. The first 2 kills went over to Sentinels. Hambach was active early in the solo lanes on his jungle Ambessa, but then I think it really just all came crashing down at the failed 5-man play top from Sentinels that opened up the opportunity for Sven to balloon his individual gold lead, and the Yunara was never again approachable by Sentinels.
Yeah, and then really nice from Cloud9 after that to utilize their power to set up before the objectives, gain their small advantages first, and blow the game open, steamrolling it from there. I did like in that interview how Blabber gave a lot of respect to Hambach and mentioning Hambach in the top 4 junglers, the best junglers in the LCS at the moment. And it was on display in the last one. You know, very good early Ambessa play. It's just like really hard to play the game afterwards.
Those are our 4 junglers that are still alive in the LCS Lock In tournament as well. So I guess you just need a top 4 jungler and you're guaranteed top 4 team. OP roll
wins as usual.
There you go.
All right, so getting into this second game, you can see Sentinels once again banning out the Ziggs and the Aurora. Respect to the Cloud9 solo laners. They'll also take Nocturne off the table. Both Orianna and Azir are going to be banned out by C9. Azael, you mentioned in the draft for game number 1 how Taliyah is one of those champions that can really stop Azir from being able to do what he wants to do, and how they love to draft Taliyah anyway for APA, but now that that's eliminated through Fearless, Azir is going to remain banned here alongside the Nico, and Sentinels will lock in the Rumble. I mentioned it on the series on Friday. Rumble's win rate in LCS is bad.
It is, but it got better. After he mentioned it, they won that game.
Okay, he doubled his wins from 1 to 2. Now he's 2-9.
How many games has he won out of his last 1 game? 1.
This is a Jat stat right here, man. This is
his last game. Could be another win right here.
How tilted are you going to make Flowers before we get into game 2?
100%.
100%. I'm upside down.
Galio is kind of the other obvious answer to Rumble. That's generally what people will go for when Aurora is banned out, as it is here. So curious to see if Thanatos wants to play that style. I think with Vi getting locked in, I would expect Galio on 3 if Vi does get locked. It's just such a strong combo already. You have a really good AD carry, but instead it is going to be the Cassante as the answer here for Thanatos.
Yeah, easy tank to play into it. Cassante also has an easy time getting early magic resist. You can go Kanik Rookern if you're facing double AP lanes. The only situation usually now where you don't face double AP lanes if the enemy is a Rumble is if they have Yone. So Sentinels could make this a Yone comp, but it's Darkwings. So I don't think it's going to happen, so I think it's going to be a double AP comp, so I think you can just go Cannon quicker.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality of basically every team right now. We talked about this on the Dive Flowers, but it's out of the top 20 picks in mid lane, there is one AD mid laner, it is Yone. Out of the top 20 picks in jungle, there's 0 like true AP. There's like, you know, like a Maokai or a Sejuani or whatever. You have to go down
to
like
that does magic damage.
You have to go down to like 23 to get Diana. So basically, it's just always AD in the jungle, AP in the mid lane, every single game in pro meta these days. So yeah, I mean, it does make tanks in the top lane have a really easy time on how to itemize when there is an AP top laner.
So we have mirrored picks here in the first half of the draft. I think we all do.
I saw him at a Magic tournament recently, actually.
How do you?
He's doing well.
Erickson or the guy with the sign?
I mean, well,
both. They were both there.
Okay. That's why he misses him. He saw him at the tournament. But, all right, we've got junglers, top laners, and AD carries drafted for both sides here. It is the Jhin alongside the Rumble, so a lot of long-range damage support for the Vi and whoever else is going to go in. We've got the Wukong drafted for Blabber and the C9 side. Let's see what we're going to get with the bans here. There's that Yone ban that you're talking about.
They're paying the respects, even though you know, it is Darkwings here who really likes playing control mages in mid lane. They're respecting the champions themselves and the comp that you can make with it.
And it is interesting though. Yeah, he has 3 games of Yone all time in competitive and 1 and 2 on the pick. So definitely not a Darkwings pick. But they are going to respect it. And, you know, Cloud9 did talk about how they felt like they failed in their preparation, you know, last summer, coming into playoffs, and that was one of the reasons that they wanted to play FlyQuest again after having just played them. You know, being able to rely on that preparation, so they're trying to kind of check all the boxes here.
How quick do they make that Cassante sign, huh? He got that instantly.
He was just prepared.
it gets locked in.
Takes one for every champion,
and
then just pulls it out. You know,
that's
preparation. That's thinking ahead.
That's how you get shown. All right, let's see. The Annie also following it up. We haven't had the Annie picks, but we do keep getting a couple of these straggler little bands there. If you've got Wukong, the Wukong Annie is the bread and butter.
I've also been seeing a little bit of Annie support. People are doing some kind of like cook builds with Banal Pipes and Rylai's and stuff. I've been seeing a little bit of that going around. So who knows? Maybe that's something that Vulcan has been trying in solo queue. Also agree, it does just feel like APA champ. The Galio is a great APA champ. So you know, even though it was not going to be a Galio top, they do still respect that, and we're just going to get a control mage here. So Victor is a good takeaway from Darkwings. That's definitely something that he is very comfortable on, and probably, you know, APA is just saying, all right, he's going to go a control mage. What is a good control mage against other control mages? And Victor generally outranges in a lot of these matchups, and you can kind of just laser poke and farm it up and play pretty effectively that way.
I feel like Hui is a pretty common answer into this. If you're just saying, okay, we're going to go control mage for control mage, you took Victor first. Hui is just kind of like Victor, but he didn't make it into Arcane. So sure, he's also there. He ought to do fine. He's serviceable. He can have plenty of wave clear, and you can really pop off if you can get a big spiraling despair in a team fight.
And it's a Darkwing's comfort here. So with a Vi, it also does make it easy to like set up the big AoE combo from Hui. So you can get that guaranteed engage. So we'll see if he can stay safe though. Sometimes, a lot of times, Wukong makes it very difficult for Hui to play. We'll see about the engage.
You know what I would actually really like is a Renata from Vulcan. I feel like Renata goes crazy, but maybe they just want to guarantee some engage. It just feels like there's so much dive that's coming through, and it's just about, you know, absorbing that initial punch. So to me, Renata could be incredibly strong if they wanted to go on hit Varus. You know, you're looking at Vi, at Rumble, at you know, Huhi on the Rakan as well. They're all going to be diving in, but considering some engage options himself, so just wants to be able to start the fights.
Yeah, I could definitely see for Cloud9 side, you know, you want something with Wukong, like you get your point and click now with Nautilus, so the way that I think was already going to have a difficult time staying safe, now if you get point and click on your head, either Hui or the Jhin, it's very, very hard to get away from Wukong and the Cassante coming for you, and I'm assuming this Sven is going lethality Varus here, so the long range, you know, damage over the top as well.
Just stay safe, bro.
Seems like Cloud9 are going to put a lot of pressure on those immobile carries, but you can say the same thing the other way.
Yeah.
So whoever gets the early lead there,
they're gonna put pressure on both sides.
Well, the last game, remember, was decided largely by AD carry gap, right? C9 played around Sven. They enabled Sven. He was up to, what did you say it was, Azale?
8.6K.
8.6 thousand gold individual lead by the time the Nexus fell, and there was just no answer that Sentinels had for him. Now, of course, if you're playing Lethality Varus, it's a very different champion. It plays a very different role in the team as a poke champion instead of just being that hyper carry. So I don't think it's going to be that again, but I also think for Sentinels, you want to see your bot lane bounce back a little in this one.
Yeah, you really do, and I think they're going to have a good series from the bot lane if they want to make this competitive. Rahel has been a standout player. I think he has been very, very strong for Sentinels. You know, he to me is their like primary carry. You know, when you're thinking about how this team is going to be able to win a series, that's the guy that generally does take over. Going to be interested to see how Impact plays this out. He's going first strike, so just thinking about it, less about dominating the lane and more about just kind of farming gold off of Thanatos, being able to get to those item power spikes faster. And then, of course, first strike does scale really well as a damage rune into late game because it is that percentage damage amp.
Yeah.
And it is going to be Lethality Varus as he's playing Comet.
That is crazy. He now passes Bjergsen for third all-time in North America for games played at 612.
They're just rubbing it into that guy with the fan sign.
Oh, no, yeah, sign guy.
Oh, yeah, you missed Bjergsen? Well, guess what? He just lost a record.
Oh, no.
Kind of messed up, production team.
The update on our battle for the most assists here, you can see it is still Impact, comfortably sitting with that silver medal. Like Azale mentioned at the start of game number 1, Aframu is way out in front of everybody else, so they're not really competing for the gold here just yet. The bottom lane, Sven and Vulcan getting the slightly better trade over Rahel and Huhi here nice and early. Both junglers this time are starting on the top side of the map, pathing towards this bottom lane compared to the crisscross starts of last game.
And I think that's more about the repeat clears for these junglers, both Wukong and Vi Ultimate Reliant. And you just want to set up your camp respawns in a way that you're going to be pathing towards how you think you're going to win the game. And so they don't want to pay as much attention to top lane, to Cassante lane up there. So try and get down. And again, like you're both saying, the bottom lane, incredibly important here. And the junglers are also saying that.
So game 1, pretty one-sided, but last time we saw C9 in the best of 5, it was one of the fastest in LCS history, 5th fastest, in fact, against FlyQuest, 80 minutes, just a hair over of total game time. So we'll see if they can continue a race towards that, try to get close to that, or maybe even one up themselves.
I've cast an LCS game, a single game that was longer than that. So that was a fast series. He's on a fast roam towards mid lane here, though. You can get an early flash out of Victor. That could be...
Yeah. Ooh, or APA will just step in front of him casually and not even worry about the roam.
I like it, and the crowd clapping here for some of the footwork from APA. Dodged out on the damage afterwards too, so he doesn't even, go too negative on the trade there.
Yeah, really well done there by APA. He was already winning the lane against Darkwings, and even with that pressure coming through from Huhi, he's in a great spot. Huhi's still hanging around though, looking to try to see if there's anything he can get done here.
He is invested in this. Meanwhile, you can see Hambach has made his way onto the top side. Scuttle Crab, considering the enemy support is now roaming, C9 knows they have total control over the bottom lane in terms of the push, in terms of the priority, so that's very easy for Wukong to pick up that crab too.
And APA getting active in chat, hits him with a good gank XD.
It's the XD that's the diabolical classic, letting them know you absolutely do not respect what they are trying to do here in the mid lane. We still have not seen either of our junglers get active, so Kobe's initial prediction is, we've got the yap cam. I like how he still bothers to capitalize both the X and the D.
But look what you can see. That top line that was up there, that was half cut off, it said good luck, have fun at the beginning of the game. So he starts it out on good terms,
Raises you up so he can slam you down.
Yeah, the good terms last about 3.5 minutes.
Good luck, have fun, idiot.
All right, our junglers are doing exactly what you predicted, Kobe. We're just farming till 6. We're trying to unlock those ultis, making sure that they can play around what is expected to be the win conditions down here around the bottom side. The first Drake this time around is going to be Ocean Drake. We know that those also feel really good if you can get them while the laning phase is still, you know, active. So if we can see a big play, a big fight perhaps around a third crab, that could lead into a Drake here as well. APA with a very bursty trade here onto Darkwings. Extra auto attack with the Airy there at the end, and APA just keeps controlling this mid lane matchup.
I mean, Hwei just keeps using QE on the wave. You know, he's just trying to actually AoE down that wave, the kind of mini Rumble equalizer. And every time he's doing that, APA is just stepping to the side of wave and stepping forward and just looking for that trade. He has really good range, can trade through with that Victor laser.
And I want to see if that you know, cannon ends up getting melted and just dies in mid lane, because APA pulled the wave. So that cannon, yeah, his the cannon for Darkwings, the whole wave just gets annihilated here on the recalls. APA getting back in time for his own cannon too. Oh, gee, that's just GG right there. Where's the chat?
That's just, where's the typing after that?
Cannon, XD.
Yeah.
He is controlling the wave very nicely here so far as Darkwings and Huhi again going to step into that bottom side river, try to get some vision control.
And it gets him level 6 advantage here over Darkwings. So, you know, walks back in. He'll soak up some experience, but it's gonna remain an experience lead for him. Bot lane pushing in, mid wave control as well.
That's why Sentinels were trying to set up the vision down here, but it's C9 first to the Crab, and Blabber and the Crabbers do what they do best. Crab secured, Wukong level 6 secured, Hambach still only level 5 on the Vi, so if they want to try to take any sort of a fight, it will be tough.
Winning lanes, really nice for junglers, especially with the plan on everybody's mind now of this next crab that spawns in front of Dragon, bottom side for the spawn of crab, also just means, you know, in the words of Blabber, game is over. You know, we got the bottom crab into the Dragon. That's going to guarantee our first and second Dragon. So let's see if that comes true.
I mean, it's kind of the lotto too, having the crab spawn on that side with the winning lanes, and the Dragon is right there, and it's an Ocean Dragon. Right? Yep. And Ocean Dragon this early on actually affects the lanes quite a bit, especially when you are playing some of these matchups like Thanatos is playing on the top side against Impact, where your regen is going to matter a lot. And now we're seeing Hambach try to look for a potential play here.
Yeah, he's thinking about maybe going towards the top side. Thanatos has already used the all out, and he has to flash to escape. Does not want to get caught out by Hambach there. So ulti for ulti in the top lane. Flash still available for Impact, though.
Interesting. So Blabber during that time also got to finish his blue buff. Can he finish this as well? He didn't have a smite for the Gromp.
Okay, now Hambach's going to force Blabber out of the jungle. Does find about half his health bar in the process as Impact and Darkwings are both rotating over to back up their jungler.
So honestly, pretty good for Hambach there, because, you know, he comes in with smite ready. He can just yoink away the Gromp that Blabber had been working on. And just by showing himself, he got the flash out of Thanatos. So Hambach with a little bit of value play here for the jungle. It doesn't like win the game or move the needle that much, but that's some decent value after they did lose out on bottom side Crab and Dragon.
Yeah, it's a nice little play, trying to get something back. And Impact in a pretty good spot. I mean, the farm is even, but he has been able to get one plate, and he's been farming some gold with First Strike as well. So Impact's in a pretty good spot.
Okay, let's see if who he ends up meeting the welcoming party here is not going to overextend himself. As Blabber, though, trying to go in. He's overextended, trying to steal away the enemy blue buff. Drops the clone to try to defend against the curtain call, but it's APA who's going to be killed off first. First blood over to Sentinels there in the mid lane for Darkwings, but Sven gets one back to the Hambach. Nice damage from the piercing arrow, but it's a double kill for Darkwings.
They pull the trap on the invade. Hambach is not going to let you get away with that, Blabber. The bump onto the blue buff into the Jhin root, really nice, and so they forced that to flash from Blabber early on, so they knew they wanted to follow the play. Here's another look at it. It's Q from Hambach onto Blabber on this side, but on the other side, APA, right in their faces, goes down first.
Well, the biggest difference is Impact made the roam, right? Impact actually just walked down there with no TP, so I think that is the real surprise here for C9, is Rumble shows up, immediately flashes in as soon as the fight starts, and they're like, oh crap, like we don't have TP on either top laner. We thought it was going to be a 4v4, so as soon as he's there, the fight is looking really bad for Cloud9.
Yep.
That being said, that couple hundred gold lead for Impact did vanish because Thanatos took 2 plates on top side. And there was some CS lost for Impact as well because of that roam. So whether or not that was worth it remains to be seen. Yes, they won the fight, but the gold really didn't move at all in their favor because of it.
400 gold lead here for C9. Next Drake not spawning for another couple of minutes. The grubs are active, but I know, Kobe, you are a big proponent of mentioning the grubs are just not that appealing these days. I mean, physically, they were never appealing to begin with. They're the ugliest thing that's ever been on Summoner's Rift, but even in terms of gameplay mechanics, they are just not that good. Sorry, grubbies. It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, I mean, they're the leftovers of Summoner's Rift.
Oh, no.
When somebody makes a play somewhere else, you can go get the leftovers.
Okay, APA is going to continue clearing out this wave here. Still about a 600 gold lead, though, for Darkwings. And we were talking about how good APA was doing in the lane earlier, how well he was sidestepping Huhi's additional pressure, how well he was farming, how well he was controlling the waves, and Darkwings was kind of just trying to respond to that. But now those couple of kills have really got Darkwings right back in the game.
Yeah, Darkwing's back in the game, but it's once again a very big early gold lead for Sven. Last time around, Sven, of course, on the Yunara hyper carry, able to win the entire game for Cloud9. This time around, Sven on the Lethality Varus is going to be super annoying on top of it. You know, the poke damage from Lethality Varus in this game can get you so much. As far as the leftovers of Summoner's Rift though, Flowers, Hambach will go over and grab those by easy time, jumping in the back of the pit and jumping right back out.
And Sven's hit a couple of good piercing arrows so far this game here, too. You just saw that take about 1/3 of Rahel's HP as he nails him with the full charge there underneath the turret. So Lethality Varus doing some good work here so far. Does have his Yumu's Ghostblade, is stacking the tier. He's going to hurt a lot if C9 can do what they did last game and set up around the objectives and make Sentinels have to dodge those bullet hells. And you can see the MasterCard Power Spike for Thanatos has been completed. The Kanik Rookhorn that you guys were talking about, you build it against double AP solo laners. This is where Cassante starts to feel comfortable against the run.
Yeah, he's looking really comfortable now. And I mean, Rahel had to take a pretty rough base timing there, so even more damage being dealt to the tower. Also, shout out to Kadriel and Tarek tuning in, and hopefully we'll give you guys a competitive series here.
We have had a lot of 3-0s this weekend, just early warning. And Cloud9 handily won the first game. Currently, though, setting up on Dragon. See if Sentinels are going to go for the engage. Hambach charging up.
Okay, Hambach wants to jump in. APA is going to be your target yet again. The curtain call opens up. APA is already down. A lot of damage coming out, though, the other way around, and that's 2 Sentinels dead. 2 dead on the C9 side as well. Sven back into the Dragon Pit as the Equalizer drops on top of the objective, and Thanatos is still looking for his angle. C9 have lost 3. Sentinels have lost 2. Junglers are out of the picture on both sides. Thanatos still trying to fight here. Open up a little bit of space for Sven, who wants to steal it away, but no, the Jhin, Rahel, secures the objective.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a 4th shot there, and he loaded, and he was just waiting to get it low. So Darkwings gets it low enough. Boom, 4th shot, even with a Varus, not able to steal it away. With both junglers down there, Sentinels make a big play, and Hambach in the brush onto APA. Look at, right out of here, he goes straight for APA, gets the bump into the Jhin route, and they immediately assassinate him with the follow-up.
I mean, it's just really nicely done. Huhi is there for the follow-up. The Jhin all over the wall is landing the damage. And Sven was kind of just trapped in the pit here, awkwardly tanking the Dragon. The Equalizer doesn't actually connect on anything, but it does push Sven out the back. He has to flash over the wall. And then Sven is just staying around trying to see, all right, can I actually steal this? He's hanging out the bottom side looking for that. And Rahel sitting on the 4th shot. It did go down to about 289,
so close.
Was an opportunity to steal it.
Yeah, I mean, you're just focused. Everyone is focused. Nobody talk while I'm trying to steal this. And then afterwards, okay, didn't get it.
Yep.
But yeah, 4th shot, Jhin and Varus are 2 of the 80 carries that are very good at stealing objectives when no junglers are around. You know, on the new patch, of course, the new season, when junglers are around and smites increase damage, makes it really hard to steal stuff. But that was a fun one. And Sentinels here, striking back here in game number 2, evening up the Dragons. Let's see about this bottom side, though. A lot of participants.
Yeah, and I mean, Sven is still out to a very big lead, 1.5K. He got another kill. He is really strong this game, so gonna be pretty annoying. There's a lot of squishy members over on the other side to be able to poke away at. No true tanks or anything like that. Obviously,
Exactly.
there's some tools to be able to absorb, but they're going for Zen.
Yeah, they want a full send after that. Varus, Hambach goes in with the equalizer right behind him, and Sven is cooked. Sentinels have found their first kill, and now they're trying to get everybody out alive. Hambach is taken low, but Blabber's got to be careful. Impact goes underneath the turret. He does get rooted up by Vulcan. Sentinels, are they going to get Impact out? Not quite. It was nearly perfect, but they still make the play.
Yeah, really good play once again. They come at 3 angles at Sven. Flash Vi ultimate into Rumble ultimate into Huhi follow-up on the Recon. They take him down. Hambach surviving there with the Sundered Sky healing, doing a decent amount of work as well. Unfortunately for them, Impact at the very end does barely go down to the last shot. But still a very successful play and taking down the Varus. That is the only one with the gold lead on the side of Cloud9. Clearly, Sentinels here with a really good attack plan. Huhi ults early for the move speed to be able to follow up, and it's just a really nice flash ult from Hambach, knowing they've got Impact for the follow-up.
And I just like how proactive they're being. They know that Sven is a really strong member. They know he had no flash because of that earlier Dragon fight. And so Hambach has no hesitation to just fully send it on this play with everyone around. And Impact getting very, very strong. Has earned 365 gold from the first strike. Has opened up a pretty good lead for himself here, as might have a Herald fight.
Okay, Herald started by C9. Got it already down to just 3,000 HP, but Sentinels are hanging around the area, and it looks like they're going to choose to just walk away from this one. Blabber can smite down the Herald, claim the eye, no problem, no contest here from Sentinels. But C9 are now behind. That shutdown onto Sven, that's stopping him from farming and becoming the monster that he was in game number 1. Very important for the Sentinels comp. What is the play that they need to do now? Like, what's the game plan to continue keeping this one close and trying to bring us our first not 3-0 series of the weekend?
What Sentinels need to keep doing?
Yeah, what do they need to do to keep this going strong?
Keep on pressuring these lanes here. They have opportunities. You saw Rumble waiting in brush. And with these pick tools that they have, with a Vi and a Recon, they can make quick plays with long-range follow-up here. So Cloud9 have to be a little bit careful with setting up their defensive vision to watch for these plays from Sentinels and see if they can keep this up, because they do have a lot of range and some very quick possibilities.
Agreed. Vulcan has the Locket now, which is going to help a little bit. You know, obviously playing with Summoner Heal and the Locket to try to absorb that initial engage. And Huhi going for the Mikhail's Brush, which is something he has just been doing non-stop on basically every champion. Does have a tremendous amount of value. And I think it is going to be pretty useful this game, especially against catches from Sven, you know, with that ultimate.
Yeah. See if they can pull off something here. I mean, battle over vision is the first step. Hambach charging up there is, unfortunately for him, a ward on the backside here. That's providing a lot of value for Cloud9. So no little surprise play going to happen this time around from this position. Sentinels, they definitely have no idea about this one. Nobody's sweeping, so everyone kind of converging, though. There are teleports for both top laners, and Impact generally getting the push first, so would kind of benefit them, but Dragon is on the table.
Okay, they're moving down there. Sentinels first.
Victor ult down for this fight now. Rahel down to 50%.
Yeah, Rahel is chunked out. The Rift Herald is going to be summoned up mid lane to put pressure onto the tier 1 turret, while Sentinels still trying to make sure they can defend this objective. Thanatos and Blabber were working on the Drake here at the same time, while Sentinels are distracted, making sure nothing bad is going to happen to Rahel. Impact still hanging around on the flanks, seeing if C9 is going to overcommit towards this Dragon so they can look for some sort of an angle to punish. Rahel still has Curtain Call. He can contribute from a long way away. Vulcan engages. They're trying to find the burst here onto Huhi, and they barely miss out on killing him. Now C9 still looking to see if they can make this fight happen. APA does finally burn Huhi down. Vulcan barely staying alive. C9 take the objective and 1 kill.
Ooh, barely burns him down with a little tick there, and Cloud9 forcing the objective. I really like the vision toggle from observers to show how C9 were making this entry hard for Sentinels, claiming these brush this time and not presenting an early target. And then C9 also, don't let Huhi get a free entry. Immediately going for this Recon. Because every time they have allowed Sentinels the initiative.
If it goes for the next pick, I want to fight, I'll be here.
I also was clicking up.
Yeah.
I can move down to Dragon right now. I have top wave.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. If you got the wave, I'm down.
Okay. Think about Rumble zone.
Watching, you can go Recon, Phil.
Yeah, I'll go.
Take it.
Look Recon.
Okay. Got Drake. I'm only Vi.
Recon 1 HP.
Yeah, I'm on Vi.
I'm playing slow, play slow.
Yeah. Nice Recon.
We got Rumble.
Nice, guys.
Alright, we got Rakan.
These are clean comms. These are really clean comms. I like the information that APA is delivering every time. You know, top wave is already covered. I can come early. We get the early positioning, and then we target the enemy's initiation so they can't get the jump on us again. And C9 rewarded multiple times.
And that is one of the big differences that C9 will tell you between APA and Loki as well. You know, Loki just did not communicate as much. Obviously, it is a second language. APA is a very vocal player and is going to be really comfortable communicating what he thinks you should be doing in the game. All of that information has been pretty useful for them.
Yeah, and we've heard multiple times, too, really confident listen-ins on these comms. He's like, you know, I can go on this play now, and then he'll also follow it up with, I'm going no matter what. So it's not really a debate anymore in some of these scenarios, and that kind of removes any sort of doubt from your teammates as far as positioning to follow it up. But nice decisive play there from Cloud9 to kind of retake.
I think Huhi might have just pressed the wrong button because he just used the quickness in the jungle while he was walking up towards top lane.
Sometimes you gotta go fast, brother.
Yeah, I guess sometimes you just want to run really fast through the run fast zone in the jungle with the Cloud Rift, but Huhi not having quickness means that Sentinels are going to have to be a little bit more cautious about taking fights here until that is caught back up. Darkwings getting comboed down pretty heavily by APA, but Hambach is ready and waiting. APA with a Seeker's Arm Guard, staying alive for now. Spiraling Despair, can't kill him. Hambach's now got to be on the lookout. Huhi coming to try to protect his jungler, but Blabber has gone in here for the Cyclone. Thanatos right next to him. Sven's here for the additional damage with the piercing arrow. Hambach's going to fall, and Thanatos takes the kill.
I mean, APA, that was very nice. Really good reactions from him instantly to be able to deal with the attempted play from Hambach. But honestly, the setup from Sentinels, also a pretty decent one from them. Unfortunately, the rewards for Cloud9 are going to be huge, huge positioning advantage around Baron. And now Sentinels have no smite, no jungler, so they just have to 4-on-5.
Yeah, Impact's already made his way in here with a teleport. Keep your eyes out for the equalizer. Vulcan there with a Hex Flash trying to catch Sentinels as they want to stop the Baron. It's already down to 2,000 HP. Smited by Blabber, and C9, 21 minutes into the game, secure the Baron. But now they got to try to make sure they get everybody out. Thanatos and Blabber both low on HP as the curtain call opens up. Vulcan's going to body block the shots as APA has made his way back, and C9 will walk away successful. No deaths after the Baron.
Big sequence there for C9. The Zhonya's gets revealed, you know, able to survive on the top side because of that. Even though it looked like a good look there from Hambach and Darkwings, they can't kill him. It's this Q flash that comes out here. Darkwings is trying to bait him. He's trying to go a little bit aggressive. Takes a lot of damage, but as APA steps forward, Q flash, ult, all the CC is there, but they cannot 100 to 0 him, unfortunately. The stasis is enough.
And the stasis is so much value because he immunes the pop on the ultimate from the Hui. And this is why pro players very frequently, almost always, Zhonya's first, then flashed afterwards. Because when you Zhonya's early, that makes Hambach stay around for the follow-up play, because Hambach's like, oh, well, we got to finish you now. So Hambach stays there by your Zhonya's, tries to Q you out of it, and your immediate flash afterwards makes sure that the follow-up play could be there from Cloud9, resulting in now them wearing Baron and taking towers.
Yep, those towers are under pressure as Impact got knocked down below half HP. He was forced to flash just to not die there. They cannot afford to lose Impact on the Sentinel side. He's the only one with an individual gold lead so far in this game. After C9 had their big swing with the Baron, Thanatos is just going to mine more plate money off the mid lane tier 2, and it's the C9 push in multiple lanes, really trying to build this lead even further.
Yeah, this is going to get pretty difficult here for Sentinels. Of course, they do have good wave clear with the Hui. But it's scary. They're losing control of this whole area of the map.
Yeah, and Huhi's just about to get 100 to 0 there thanks to the hook coming out from Vulcan. One support catches the other, but now Sentinels are once again in a 4v5. Vulcan nearly gets an additional dredge line there with the Impact. APA swooping in from the side as Thanatos keeps everybody else occupied. He wants to go all out, and Darkwings tries to flash, but he still falls. Thanatos fighting for his life, but he finally drops. Meanwhile, Impact's cleaned up over in the jungle. C9 might have lost their top laner, but they got 3 kills in the process.
Yeah, really nicely done. And APA kind of reinforcing from the side made that fight very awkward for Sentinels. It was hard for Impact to really get involved, and then Thanatos finds an angle to go very far, get the kills. They're going to be able to push up this tier 2 tower bot. They're going to be able to take the dragon at the same time, move themselves to Soul Point. As Hui's trying to clear out some vision here, he just gets 100 to 0. Mikhail's or not, you can't survive.
I mean, the whole squad jumps out of the bush there, out of your jungle. That is fully lit up. Look at all these wards Cloud9 have, control wards at that through Sentinel's jungle. So they know it's hard, but then this is a tale of 2 top laners. You know, Thanatos is able to get the kill with the extra little support from Sven over the wall here, the long-range sniper. And meanwhile, the Rumble does not fare as well as a Cassante in those types of numbers disadvantages. So even though you can buy a little time with the Zonias or something, the all-out allows Thanatos side to get the extra kill on Cloud9, continue to increase their gold lead. They're looking at that Dragon Soul not too far away.
Well, they're looking at Sentinels first as Hambach tries to jump in. He goes for the quickness, but he only finds the Wukong clone. That is not the engage Sentinels wanted, and C9 will just casually walk away from it.
Blabber did have to trade out the Cyclone, though, to disengage there, so he used that to get away, so it is a trade of ultimates at the very least, but see,
yeah, there's your flash engage coming out from Sentinels. They found their pick onto Blabber, or have they? He goes over the wall to try to get back away. Blabber with a fancy feat, staying alive as Hambach dies to the Arcane Storm. Blabber's still cooking, and now Impact feeds the damage onto Sven, but he cannot find it. C9, beautiful outplay as Darkwings is going to be your next target. The damage is there as Blabber has made his way back in. One more crushing blow might do it, but he can't quite land the damage. Blabber's still burning, but APA's got the Rampage killing the Darkwings. C9, don't lose a man.
What? He just E'd to him and got behind him as the Q was released from Vi, so he doesn't hit him? That was crazy. That was crazy work right there. What the?
And he's staying around at no HP till the very end of the fight. Goes back in, procs Thunder Sky on 2 people, then goes out. Looks like he's going to burn down, gets Triumph, and lives again. So this was pretty wild. Again, I like the look here as Blabber's walking forward. They know he has no ult, so they go immediately in onto him. Too much overlap, unfortunately, on the CC, but then flash over the wall, E back to where Hambach was, sidestep on the equalizer, gets around it, trying to heal back up. The locket comes through, sidesteps as well on that Q coming through from Darkwings, and then at low HP, he's trying to heal back up. He goes back in for the Sundered Sky heal after cloning to the side of that Q. And then, all right, surely we kill him here. He's about to burn down. Nope, Triumph heal saves him again.
Crazy.
That's a wild team fight.
I like how we're also just going over how Blabber lives instead of all the rest of the members just killing Sentinels.
Well, we've got another kill on Sentinels here in the mid lane as Vulcan and Blabber work together for the pick on Rahel. Now that Jhin is out of the picture, this is what we were talking about at the start of the game. Like, the bot lane for Sentinels has to perform because Rahel feels like the main carry of the team. When that Jhin is down, C9 know they can just force their way through the front door and the mid lane inhibitor falls right after.
If you weren't sure before, this is why Cloud9 have really clearly been put at this #1 spot in the LCS. This team, the teamwork here is looking really good. The individual plays have been very good for them. I mean, they have a really heavy handle on this series. Maybe Sentinels will be able to bounce back still, but this gold lead, it's only 27 minutes into the game, and it's already 7,000, plus the Dragon Soul that we mentioned is now only a minute and a half away, and it's a Cloud Soul at that for all the extra speed to chase them down.
But we got to follow the more important story, Kobe.
Super weeks?
How is Thanatos doing in the player of the game race?
Oh, man, another one where it's hard to get player of the game.
It's 2 games in a row. Let me know.
I mean, I think Blabber was correct in the interview where he was like, well, in order for Thanatos to get a player of the game, all the rest of us have to play worse.
They're doing too well. They're all out here. Where's Thanatos?
I mean, he's still doing pretty good.
Got in.
But it's definitely like less than the other guys. Last time around, it was only like there. So yeah, I think
we're improving. We're scaling into the third game.
He was having some fun there. The Cassante at the bottom tower, you know.
Okay, teleports coming in from C9 here as they are posturing around this Baron yet again. Sentinels trying to do something about it. And we did have a couple of ultis used back and forth here as now Blabber, once again, he's the target from Huhi, but he sidesteps the Grand Entrance. Not super afraid of that one. Thanatos with Pathmaker just going to force Sentinels back again. This map is so dark and so scary for Sentinels right now. C9 are lurking around every corner trying to set these traps with the Nautilus for the pick, with the Wukong for the follow-up, and everybody's fair game.
Yeah, you've got vision advantage leading up to the Dragon Soul like this, and you have Victor and Varus poke coming at you, plus the snap initiation, point-click Nautilus ult, Wukong follow-up. It's just terrifying for Sentinels to approach, but they're trying to do it. They're working their way in through the jungle.
Oh, that was close. If that dredge line would have hit Huhi, Vulcan surely would have set up yet another pick here for the C9 side. Impact is first into the river for Sentinels as C9 have control over the Drake pit for now. now. Hambach only at 2/3 HP. When the buy goes in, he's in some serious danger of getting bursted down if the team's not right behind him. He takes damage from a single piercing arrow. Thanatos off to the side, trying to deal with Impact and Darkwings there in the 1v2, while the rest of C9 engages, and he is already down. Hambach in the middle of everybody will fall second as Thanatos goes all out and drags Impact all the way in. Blabber picks up a killing spree there onto Rahel as Darkwings knocks Blabber down, but it's only his Guardian Angel, and now it's an out of mana way. He's out of space, he's out of time, he's almost
dancing.
out of there.
They're
Okay,
dancing,
they're just gonna
bro.
dance. I was trying to do the whole tempo call, but they're just gonna rub it in. There's the ace for C9. They're gonna take the Cloud Soul, and the only thing they get to use the speed for is a faster march to the enemy Nexus. 29 minutes into the game, 11,000 gold lead, and C9 is going up 2-0 in this series, showing why they are such heavy favorites.
Yeah, APA was like, all right, I'm going to let you live for a while. And then Darkwings tries to do a combo. He's like, I'm going to fear you and teleport away.
Don't miss any LCS action when you get your favorite foods delivered on Uber Eats for less gold.
I love all the little animation canceling tips that come out from people on specific champions, because those are ones that actually make you do, more damage in a shorter time period. Things like that where you're always like, man, this guy is so good at this champion. Why does he do more damage than me? There's so many little animation cancels in the game where they can do things quicker and hit harder.
Some of the pro tips make you do more damage, and others you're just not good enough to do. Like my friend who was trying the Akali one that Saints recommended. Where Saints talking about
E-flash?
Yeah, like he's like, oh, you can cancel the animation on the E, and it's unmissable. So my friend tries to just whiffs the E point blank, loses his flash, dies.
Oh, he died too?
So it turns out you can miss it.
Okay, well, sometimes
Some of the pro tips only for pros.
Unmissable if you're a pro player.
Exactly. Some pro tips only for pros.
All right, well, speaking of some pro moves, we definitely saw those from APA and Blabber in our previous game. It was Blabber's crazy Wukong escape in the mid lane where he should have died 5 different times. And then long before that, APA's outplay in the top lane that set them up to take that 21-minute Baron. That's where it really just, the game was no longer competitive after that point. Now that we're getting into game number 3, it's do or die for Sentinels, and they're going to ban out the Nocturne and the Nico. C9 are going to ban out Akali and Yone.
I think they're planning on opening the Orianna again. If we're Nocturne banning, then maybe you're not as just leave open without the combo. Oh, okay. Orianna banned out by Cloud9 side. So are we going to get the Azir ban to match it? Yes, we are.
But Ziggs is open.
I don't think he's going to blind Ziggs.
APA Ziggs?
We'll see, but I would be pretty surprised if it's a Ziggs blind. I feel like a lot of drafting these days is kind of just tier listing, right? It's kind of just going down top to bottom, most popular champs. Would be cool, though. We'll see if he goes for it. Oh,
yeah!
Okay.
All
okay.
right. Tier list be damned. We're getting APA Ziggs.
First one?
He has to teach you a lesson. He has to let people know. If they're going to leave it open, then I got to smack them.
True.
Right? So I have to keep the fear.
Gotta earn the bans.
Yeah, I got to keep the fear instilled in them. If I don't remind them, then we're not getting our free bans.
It'll be interesting, though, because there are counters to it. It was Palafox who played the LeBlanc into this specific matchup, wasn't it? Yeah, and that I remember that matchup, and Palafox talking about how, like, you can't blind it. This matchup is so bad for Ziggs. You can slam him. So it will be cool to see if Darkwings has a counter prepped. Also, to my recollection, when I think back to last year, he brought it out for TL a lot of times. And or at least a couple times, and was doing really well individually in all those games, but all those games were losses. Like they kept losing with it, even though he would be like, 8-0, a bunch of gold ahead. They would always seem to get caught and kills.
It wasn't the champion's fault, though, for sure.
So it was his teammates' fault.
Sometimes it was his fault, but it was player choices, like the teleport one, remember? But it wasn't a champion. Like,
no, don't blame Ziggs. Blame APA.
If he did that teleport on any champion.
All right, well, Sentinels are going to start their draft strong in the bottom lane. Lucian-Nami duo, they want to enable Huhi and Rahel to be able to play aggressively, to fight against Sven and Vulcan, to try to carry from the bottom lane, because they really haven't been able to do that in either of the previous games.
Ooh, and Aphelios has been on a bit of a streak. So Sven here with another big carry possibility in front of us, and the Thresh picked up for the extra safety there, too.
Time to find out, are we going to get a mid lane counter pick, or is it going to just be something more standard? Will he go kind of outside of his regular wheelhouse, which is just control mages?
I will also say, generally, when APA picks the Ziggs, he doesn't protection ban. So they could drop their mid lane pick till later too. Because if you have like a counter like the Pal Fox LeBlanc or something, generally it doesn't get sniffed out. And so they grab the Jarvan instead. I mean, the Jarvan and the Xin are the two kind of really nice AD junglers that are highest in the tier list that are still left up. And Jarvan here with the Cataclysm could get some value if you have follow-up to take down Aphelios.
Yeah, we still have things obviously like Zehen, like Aatrox, like Mundo, and then you're getting down to kind of some of the ones that are more niche, that aren't being played as much, but those are kind of all still up and available as we've gone through most of the primary AD junglers these days. And with the Xin ban, I don't even feel like you really need to throw another ban because I feel like everything below that is kind of different tier.
Well, Malphite's going to be banned out here as well. The Galio banned out by C9. They don't want to deal with the Jarvan Galio Wombo combo. The Gwen will be their last ban here. And we're just going to slam Vayne.
Insta Vayne here. And
is it Vayne mid?
I mean, it could be. I mean, that's one of the counters that you don't sniff out.
Right?
It's flexible. Because if you blind a Vayne top, that's kind of crazy. But you're you're putting pressure on them to now try and counterpick Vayne top, and then I mean you could put it mid versus the Ziggs, I guess. Then you can like Q dodge on the Ziggs bombs. The minefields are still pretty easy to hit.
You just get pushed in. Like that would be like my question is with Vayne in a lot of these matchups, it's like you just get shoved in nonstop.
But is it a blind top Vayne? That's kind of crazy too.
Okay, well James like just went away, so I'm assuming it's maybe a wrong pick.
Yeah.
Because to me, like I was just trying to think through, and I was like, okay, it has to be mid lane because there's no way you're blind picking a top, but mid lane doesn't even seem like a good matchup.
Producers have informed me the reason that the champ select went down is because they are investigating a potential champ select bug. It's going to be like pretty much everything else where we have these champ select issues. If it's deemed to be the error of the player, you're playing Vayne.
Dude, you know what's so funny though? Impact was literally the player that took Guardian and had to play Guardian Aatrox in the game. I swear if he's using the same mouse and it's the same double click mouse thing, do you gotta get a new mouse now, bro? Like, what?
Well,
who locked that in though? It wasn't him.
No, it wasn't because it was fourth pick,
it
so it would have been.
Someone else did the clicking this time around.
Because it was pick order would be Rahel because it was the fourth pick. So
does he have the same mouse? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Doesn't really make sense that that it would have been a pick either way. But yeah, like you said, basically, if you don't know how these work, what they do is they have a full recording of like every button press, your screen, everything that's going on, every mouse movement, everything is recorded. And then League Ops can go and they can watch everything back, make sure they know exactly what happened. Was it a client error? Those are pretty common, let's be honest. Or was it actually a player error where no, he clicked Vayne and then he clicked lock and like, well, too bad then.
Right.
That's kind of the situation is if it is your fault, then you are going to be stuck usually with that mistake. If it is the game's fault, the client's fault, of course, you're going to get a remake and we're going to go and kind of draft through to where we were prior to that mistake.
Yeah, usually takes a couple minutes to investigate, go back, look at that tool like you're talking about. But I do like the Lucian Nami here for Sentinels. I do think they need to be able to play aggressively in the bottom lane. Going up against Aphelios Thresh, Sven is going to be back on a champion that just scales forever with Aphelios. Like, this is going to be a late game problem, and I want to see Sentinels really try to punish it and run the lane early.
What did you do?
Yeah.
Admit your crimes.
Top blind?
Did you repent?
He was talking. He was talking, apparently. Too much chatting.
Too much chatting.
He's following the
Disable
APA way.
Chat and we'll consider it.
He's following the APA footsteps, man.
They're trying to look cute in their Teemo hats. I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
You think it's a
various Teemo
What
hats.
word did you use?
Yeah, wait a second. Should we default to trust or no?
Based on my League of Legends experience, we're defaulting to not trusting him at all.
Did he insta-lock a Vayne and then start trash talking really good? I don't know.
All right, well, we're still just waiting for this to get worked out. Obviously, if Sentinels didn't intend the pick and they're stuck with it, they're going to be pretty unhappy.
Gonagloo's smiling.
He is smiling, but is he smiling because it's like...
Is he smiling because it's cooked or smiling because they get to redo it?
Well, maybe it's Thanatos' time to get an MVP. He gets to play against a blind Vayne top.
Gets to stomp Vayne top. Man.
What if Golden Glue is like, all right, we'll save a counter pick Vayne top for our last pick, and then they're like, oh, Vayne pick?
So
It's the
update, it was a player error, so they are going to have to play the Vayne.
No way.
So Rahel did, in fact, choose the Vayne, lock the Vayne, so they're stuck with the Vayne. That is the update. So now they have to choose, is it going to be mid or is it going to be top? Definitely a bummer that it happened to them twice.
I hope that we, like, Sentinels make some content around it and actually, like, give us more of the story, because
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, they have to reverse sweep, and they're going to have to do it with a blind Vayne. Well, I mean, it could be mid, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, though. I feel like Vayne into Ziggs,
You're just going to be under your tower.
the wave gets kaboomed, and you just sit there and try to farm under turret.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because when I was thinking through, like, I like playing Vayne, and I don't play Vayne mid or anything, but like when you play it into Mage's bot, you just live under your tower and you never get to interact, and you're just kind of getting poked, right? It's very, very difficult. So I would think that would be the difficulty. Like maybe there's a world in which you can try to like play past the wave and look to like make it so he has to spend the spells on the wave. You can harass him. I don't know. I mean, I guess they can flex it, but it seems horrible.
I gotta say, Golden Glue's smile, it's looking suspicious. They were laughing like, that was a smile like, oh, haha, maybe we did, like.
He also plays League, so we're also not trusting him.
Okay, yeah, true.
But you know
Very
who else plays
suspicious.
League? Famous LCS superstar Michael I'm a Cutie Pie Santana once said, how will the opponents know what you're doing if you don't know what you're doing?
Facts.
Sometimes you just have to lock blind Vayne solo lane and YOLO it.
Just go random.
I'm ready to
Straight
believe.
random.
I'm ready to believe.
Sometimes you do let them know your next move, and it's a crazy move.
It's just wild.
Like, look at my next move.
Why would he do that move?
Didn't expect that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Enemy team probably has 0 draft prep for blind solo lane Vayne.
That's facts. Well, we'll see. I mean, their draft prep hasn't worked so far. They did lose twice. So how about you just throw all your draft prep in the garbage and go random?
Just
Yeah.
do something.
So total game time so far, 62:07, right?
Okay, yeah.
The last series that they had against FlyQuest was just about 80 minutes. And I was like, I'm not even going to mention this because they'd have to win in 18 minutes.
That'd be great.
But now with the Vayne,
With Vayne and a
you're telling me there's a chance.
They could beat their own record they set previously
Yep.
if they win this game in 18 minutes. It's really hard to win in 18 minutes
It's
now.
almost impossible,
In the
dude.
current,
Yeah.
current
So hard.
state of League of Legends this season, it is very, very difficult
But
to do
there's a
those.
champion that could make it happen.
Yeah. In this theoretical situation, maybe you have experience in the past where you lost in 18 minutes with a top lane Vayne. Were you the Vayne, or is it on someone else? On
Me? Me? I'm not going to dignify that with an answer.
Okay.
Also, yes.
Okay, so as you all can see, we're recreating the draft. Everything up through Vayne and including Vayne has to be the same as it was the first time, and then we will be able to wrap things up. So you've got your Zen and your Malphite bands, you've got your Galio, and your Gwen is going to be the other one.
Okay, chat, what's your best Vayne counter then? In this multiple scenarios where you get blind pick
Give
Vayne
me
in front
Teemo
of
with
you.
Ignite. You give me Teemo with Ignite, and if I'm that Vayne, I got something else to do, buddy. We're alt F4ing this champ select.
What's so funny too, because
Gotta walk my cat or something.
Yeah, because pro drafts are in the order of the seeding. Rahel has to be like, hey, I got you something. here's the Vayne.
Wait, what was Rahel playing? Lucian. They can swap.
Yeah, yeah.
He can say, my bad, dog. You
Yeah,
can take the Lucian.
yeah,
We'll play Nami
Yeah,
Vayne bot.
exactly.
Could be funny. Wait,
Yeah,
are we
he's-
out of it again?
Head down and shake.
Not again.
I think that.
Okay.
Tell me it didn't happen again.
Some seat is empty.
Okay.
Where is Blabber?
All right, so I have an update. We are dropping Champ Select one more time. League officials are going to find the great big sacred rule book and see if it is at all possible for there to be a situation where this gets remade. Everybody's just making 100% sure that he has to play through with the Vayne. That's what I've been told.
Okay.
So they're just triple checking the rules, making sure that this is how it goes. We'll let you go.
Blabber's also checking with them. That's why he he left his seat. I was like, hold on.
Yeah, maybe he's the one who knows where the book is.
Have you checked Article 34.c/f/Vayne?
It's funny because it's interesting, you know, like the C9 guys. Like I know Vulcan, when the Aatrox Impact incident happened, he was tweeting saying like, you know, he didn't think he should have to play through, right?
Yeah.
APA's waving to the crowd though. Oh no, they're taking a picture of him. Oh, he's reading the signs.
He's just aura farming.
He's reading the signs.
posing.
Yeah, he's just. Well, his posture.
He's trying to intimidate the crowd.
His posture wasn't looking good. So
Don't
maybe
be intimidated, crowd. Don't back down.
Yeah. How about the whole crowd stands up and,
Yeah,
and
stare
stare
him
back
down.
at him?
Get him. Yeah, see? We got a couple. There we go.
You made him sit back down.
Yeah,
You made him
see?
sit down. Nice.
There's strength in numbers.
The crowd won the ego check.
Doesn't matter where your elo is. There's enough of you that you would be able to combine your might and beat him in League of Legends.
Yeah. Let's all queue up. Everyone versus APA.
Yeah, everyone versus APA.
All right, Blabber's back. Did he find the rule?
Maybe? I'm not 100% sure.
So if you are just joining us, basically what happened was Rahel accidentally locked Vayne, and then it was determined that it was the player error, not like a client issue or anything like that. They remade the game, but then I guess there was a decision to investigate it a little bit more, to make doubly sure that the rules do state that they actually have to play it. So they're figuring that out. So we'll just give you updates as we have them. It's a bit of a new situation for me. I can't really think of a lot of situations that this has ever happened in. I don't think I've ever cast a game with like an accidental champion pick like that. I know the famous one is always like the Piglet locking Rammus, and then they had to play Rammus support in. I think that was a relegation game or a promo relegation game.
I don't think that I was casting it, so it was probably Jat was casting it. I don't know if we can like remote call a friend, Jat, what happened in that scenario.
Yeah.
Because that's a very famous one in history.
They had to play it. To my recollection, that was promo relegation, right? That was like a Game 5 promo relegation?
I believe so, because I was not casting that one, but I casted the next time that Piglet would face.
And that was your story?
Would face high like later on in a different like promo relegation with old like eyeball FlyQuest.
Yeah, it was Game 5, Grand Finals of Academy, C9 Challenger versus Team Liquid Academy. And they had.
I remember the game of theirs that I casted in the pre-game lobby, because this was back before we had the technology to put the chat on the screen. Piglet just typed, "Rammus can't save you this time, high." like it was a dramatic line from an action movie. It was, I will never forget that pre-game banter. That was great. But yeah, that's the only thing that comes to mind when I think about this either is just, okay, accidental Rammus from 8 years ago, but.
I have cast some games where there was no jungle items purchased. And they find out after killing the first thing. Kobe has an
I have an important update. They did find a rule, and Rahel is going to be allowed to change the champion.
Wait, really?
Oh, interesting.
I think that improves the game quality that we're about to see. So I think the crowd cheering is correct.
Interesting. Okay, so I guess the Vayne is not the truth after all.
So basically the TLDR that I've just been given by my producer is because Cloud9 did not lock a champion after the Vayne was locked in, essentially they're saying like the ruling is that there is no like disadvantage to Cloud9, you know, for allowing them to redo this this accidental pick. Like that is the kind of TLDR that I've been given. So that is going to be the ruling, I guess. So I guess we are going to go through the draft once again. Third time's the charm.
But everything up until Vayne, but now not including Vayne, must remain the same. So all 10 same
wild.
bands, all of the first 6 picks are going to be the same thing, and then just no Vayne.
So
if he locks Vayne again, though, it's
I definitely want some content from Sentinels around how they're going to improve their champion select on stage, because it's getting kind of ridiculous here. We have how many remakes and how long we have to wait for them with Guardian Aatrox and Blind Vayne slams. Golden Glue. That should be #1 thing for the coach. Everybody's next, Monday practice here for the team. Everybody, champ select practice for an hour, over and over and over.
It is really funny. I mean, obviously these guys have so much practice doing it, but I've seen these kind of things happen a lot of times across a lot of games. Where pros, get to a tournament, they forget little things about their setup, and then they go into a tournament match and they like have the wrong settings, or they forgot to change, turn off mouse excel on their mouse, or like all kinds of things like this, and get completely cooked because of it.
It's just some goofy setting. Well, okay, we've got our first 6 picks locked back in. Just got to get through these last couple of bands here, and then we'll see what they actually want to pick on the Sentinel side.
Whew, okay.
So you know what? Vayne actually kind of looks good here. Maybe I will go with it.
I swear to God, if they end up with a Vayne anyway.
They have to play it.
You know what? You know what would be
That's not
so
Vayne.
You know,
That is the opposite of Vayne.
It really is.
seconds. All right, Cloud9 pick Vayne now.
You know what's a great
Now we
tank
Vayne
buster?
top into your Scion. Ha
That would be really funny. We're gonna get Rek'Sai, which could be top. Honestly, I think
nice.
it will be top.
Oh, this is also fun too because the Maokai got a nice buff on this patch. We did a little segment, you know, what types of new champions that got adjustments on the current patch. We're gonna see some pro play. Maokai was on my list. Got some nice buffs to the Q damage. So Blabber here with this champ.
TF.
You can do a lot of very crazy jungle steals with Maokai really early on because you can like walk up to their Raptors, guaranteed steal with Q and Smite. Maokai Q is mega damage to jungle monsters, and so you can Q Smite pretty much anything.
Is
and
mega
steal
damage
it away.
more or less damage than like ultra damage?
Well, there's a tier list. Let me check here. Mega is bigger. Yeah.
Mega is
Mega
bigger.
is bigger. Yeah.
Is mega the biggest damage you can have?
Super Mega is actually
Super mega?
There's
So
a
Super Mega Death Rocket makes
Oh,
sense.
It's the
true,
biggest,
yeah.
That's the biggest damage you
It's
can
right
get.
from the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Especially because they added death into there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. The more adjectives, the better. All right. Well, TF coming through for Darkwings, that'll be interesting. So are going to be able to play towards side lanes. You kind of really think, though, it's only towards one side lane. Let's be honest. You kind of want to play towards that Lucian.
Yep.
A lot of setup for Vulcan's Thresh this game, which is great. You have the Maokai CC. Obviously, you have the Gravitum Root, which we saw Masu and Cryogen dominating a 2v2 lane. You know, with that setup, you know, you throw out that purple gun, get the root, hook there to follow it up. And if you're able to connect the hook onto Nami, especially in lane, because Nami is not playing Cleanse, obviously, the Lucian will be, that can sometimes just be a 100-0 look.
All right, let's get to it. We have finally resolved the champ select. This could be the last game of the series if C9 can close it out clean. Both best of 5 so far this weekend have been a 3-0 sweep. Cloud9 would love to make this one be the same thing, head towards that grand final next weekend, next Sunday, for their shot at going to first stand. Sentinels taking to the Rift. Again, so much pressure, I feel like, on this bottom lane, on this Lucian Nami to perform.
I knew we were going to get some chat at the beginning. and you mentioned it as well, Isaac, when we were in the pause, how on social media, last time when Sentinels did have to play with the Guardian Aatrox, Vulcan himself was on Twitter. He was like, what? We got to watch this? And so C9 here also kind of happy to have a good, clean game here.
Nice, honest game of League of Legends. Two grass tanks
Yeah,
auto-attacking
there we
each
go.
other. The way God intended it.
And
No kill threat at all.
Just
no
two
damage
wet
to be
noodles.
seen.
Rek'Sai has actually been taken down a notch since Worlds, where it always used to just push inside and get these advantages.
Well, while the laning phase is just now starting, we've got Dokla standing by for an interview with Coach Golden Glue.
And I'm here with Golden Glue of Sentinels. Golden Glue, this has been the second time a Champ Select issue has happened under your tenure as head coach. What does this say about your leadership?
That's a very good question, Dokla. I think it says that in my environment, we're willing to make mistakes. We're willing to take that extra risk or that extra step and learn and improve from it. That's what I think that shows.
I mean, that's great because, you guys are top 3 right now, so I can see the improvements throughout the split. Down 0-2 in the series, what do you need to do to come back?
I think we need to team fight better. I think in the last game, we could have won that third dragon. We're kind of just getting out team fought on the third dragon. I think we're not really finding the right angles. So this game we have a bit more of a pick comp, and we have a bit stronger lanes with the Lucian Nami into this Thresh. So trying to snowball and kind of play a different type pace of game this game.
Yeah, you gave APA his Ziggs here, so what was the thought process behind that? Because,
I guess he can just first pick blind Ziggs. Let's see, maybe we'll punish it, maybe not. Flash, kill his ass. Oh.
He's going down.
That is what we do versus the first pick Ziggs. That is what we do. It was all according to my master plan.
And there you have it. So looks like Sentinel's going to go for the reverse sweep here. And we'll toss it back to Flowers and the rest of the crew. What do you guys think about that?
I think they did indeed flash kill his ass. The Ziggs is down for first blood, and it's Sentinels on the board fast in this third one.
And this was Hambach with an altered timing. He did 4 camps and ganking from the bottom side as Jarvan. So the unexpected timing, since he's clearing off the regular camps on red side, does mean when you go for early ganks like that, you pay jungle camps usually, and Blabber's going to make you pay. Blabber will steal away the blue buff after the early Jarvan gank that results in him having a level lead currently in the jungle.
My big question is, can he double scuttle as well? Because he obviously stole the blue. He's just going to recall, so won't be able to double scuttle. So is going to just get that blue buff advantage. But still, nicely done by Hambach. Grabs that early first blood, puts some pressure on APA. And now he is flashless. And they could always look for a repeat, you know, with the flash gold card, so has to be careful.
Nice hook there from Vulcan. The death sentence lands onto Rahel. The Lucian does not want to use the cleanse that early because he knows there's not any kill threat yet, but it does mean he loses half his health bar.
Yeah, and obviously while we're watching mid lane, we did miss Huhi lost his flash very early in the game because his flash has been down for a while. So Huhi has lost his flash and used his heal that was traded with Vulcan's heal. So obviously a lot of action happening early on in this one.
And you're seeing some of the ramifications of the nerf I was talking about on Rek'Sai, where they did take Rek'Sai down a notch since Worlds, where at Worlds we were constantly getting Rek'Sais pushing in, getting turret plate leads and CS leads over Scion players. But the sustain on minions was taken down a bit, and so it's not quite as oppressive as it was previously. Still keeping up the pressure though, still of course, you know, double grasp, going for these trades and trying to sustain through, just a little bit better for the Scion angle, and the teleport back once you have Bramble for impact.
Yep. I mean, Bramble's okay, but honestly, the healing is not while he's auto-attacking you, so he's not actually applying that debuff. So
right, yeah.
I never am actually a very big fan of Bramble in this matchup. I just think almost all the sustain, yeah, you're reducing maybe some like grasp healing or whatever, but every time he burrows, when you have that full rage bar at this point, as Huhi could be in some trouble.
Yeah, they're trying to fight back though as Rahel jumps in after Sven, hits him with the full Lucian combo. Sven down to 300 HP, but the bubble doesn't find its target. Hambach throws out the Dragon Strike, and as soon as he does that, Blabber decides it's time to go in because the enemy jungler doesn't have his escape mechanism. Sven roots him up with Gravitum, and Blabber smashes him down with the Bramble Smash.
A really good counter gank here, and this is where you start to see junglers fall behind. When you do an early gank towards mid, drop a little bit of camps, and then another gank on bottom side, and Blabber has been clearing here. This Maokai with the CS lead, and now after the counter, has a kill for himself on top of it too. This is going to be a very beefy tank Maokai. I think Blabber is set up to have a very big impact on these team fights. Your ultimate is just always so much crazy value, Sapling's vision value, and you're going to be very tanky on the front line. He has the phase rush as well, so pretty slippery. Blabber is showing up mid here to answer the support roam from Huhi as well, and he always talks about it himself. Blabber, even though it's not like this carry champ, this flashy champ, he has an insane win rate on it, lifetime.
He does. And people always meme these Enchanter, roams mid, but it's actually pretty effective. Huhi just walks mid, bounces the heal off Darkwings onto APA, gives him a little bit of an HP lead there. Yep. So that was pretty nicely done. And it looks like we are potentially going to have a scrap for the Scuttle, but Sentinels decides, you know what, we're just going to back off. Blabber just early smites onto the Dragon, getting that second smite charge ready. Does not think that they are going to contest, so he had 2 smite charges ready. That one is cooling down, and he's just going to start that Dragon, leash it at the same time.
Yeah, and especially on mounted dragons, they take so long to kill. Second charge is back up, ready to finish it off. So he's always efficient. Gets the Scuttle, corrals it next to the Dragon, get your Q onto both of them, and kind of business as usual for Cloud9 here. First Dragon for them, and a gold lead despite the early first blood.
When Vulcan just keeps hitting death sentence after death sentence, constantly keeping the pressure on Huhi and Rahel down here. And it's already, more than a wave of CS advantage for Sven on the Aphelios up against what's supposed to be the suppressive lane in the Lucian Nami.
And honestly, I'm in love with Zeke's convergence for these tank junglers. Inspired did on Malphite yesterday, and it is just so efficient. It got added, the extra ultimate ability haste. Here is the Maokai record I was talking about for Blabber. Very impressive, 77% for him, 19 and 6. Steal away from Hambach, quite nice right there. Even it up a little bit, grab some back for himself, but Blabber can continue clearing his regular camps down towards the bottom side of the map, and APA knows. Jarvan just spotted previously topside. The Ghost, though, to get in range.
Yeah, Darkwings, but he locks a red card instead of the gold, so APA still walking away for now. Blabber has shown up in case Hambach wants to try to dive after the Ziggs, and Sentinels are going to call that one off. Okay, now they're going to call it back on. Humbach re-engages, wants to look for APA, finds a little bit of burst onto him, but honestly not a ton. They're going to fight over the large chicken and its blabber. Like you were talking about, Kobe, the Bramble Smash damage is so strong now, so he secures that big chicken for himself as APA goes back to mid lane. Mega Inferno Bomb going to be used to clear the wave.
Darkwing's doing pretty well, though, in this matchup. You know, they got the early kill onto APA and has been able to do a good job putting some pressure onto APA. You know, I was worried that he would just kind of get locked under his own tower, that he would just be struggling to wave clear against this Ziggs, and we'll see if APA, when he has his first item completed, is able to kind of do that. That's really what your goal is. The difficulty with TF, to me, when you're playing at high wave clear like this, is when you roam, do you not just lose a ton of plates to the Ziggs? You know, are those roams going to be worthwhile? They are all going to be really high risk.
Both junglers down around the bottom lane now as Sentinels back up very far from their tier 1 turret. They do not want to get caught out here by Blabber on the Maokai with that fully completed Zeeks like you're talking about, Kobe. It's such a strong item because it's also so cheap. It's thrift store prices as a jungle item. You feel so good when you buy this thing this early. C9 is up to not quite a 1,000 gold lead, but a small lead for themselves. The largest individual one of those, of course, is Sven down here on the Aphelios. And the Aphelios Thresh lane just seems like it's going great.
3 out of 3 games, Sven has had the biggest lead for Cloud9 early, and they've had leads every single game. So nice job by them pushing in with the Aphelios Thresh. Gun usage already on display quite nicely, and they actually keep him around here. Here comes Blabber.
Yeah, Sven used the ult to stop the recall because they want to set up for a dive.
Okay, Blabber already going to fire off the Nature's Grasp. Rahel blocks it for Huhi, or tries to, then immediately pops his Cleanse. Huhi still gets tagged with it anyway, but honestly, Sentinels are totally safe here. Meanwhile, Thanatos just trying to be annoying, proxy farming, and harassing Hambach in the jungle.
So I think what he's doing here is he's actually just pulling the wave. Notice how he didn't touch the minions. He just drives through, stacks up the wave. So now this wave will push out towards him, and he knows, hey, I'm going to be on weak side. My jungler showed bot, so he just wanted to kind of stack that wave, make it come towards him. And Impact just shoves it out. Thanatos TP's back, and we'll be able to fully collect that.
Yeah, go and find some extra jungler information always helps, especially when the jungler's on Krugs up on top side, because it's a long time to get there and affect the rest of the map too. I mean, the grubs, I guess everyone feels the same now, and they're just going to kind of sit there and rot. Hambach is looking for another
rotten
they're not
grubs.
they're not thriving. They're not.
No, I think that they're default rotting as soon as they spawn. That's what they look like to me.
This absolute grub disrespect. Yeah. Well, Blabber, hey, that one's not going to rot. At least one of them, maybe. Blabber's going to go and start trying to farm these up. Hambach, however, shows his face. Blabber does step back in to get the smite onto grub number 1. Meanwhile, Thanatos and Impact both thinking about getting involved, but Impact does have the significant health advantage here, as Huhi has also roamed over, so Sentinels can get both of the remaining grubs for themselves.
Now the real question is it better to rot or be smoked?
Be smoked, because the rotting takes a long time, and you're just kind of lying there.
You don't think it would hurt to get smoked?
At least it's a quick end. Honestly,
you wouldn't even feel it. It's a big lightning bolt from the sky. You're donezo.
It's like, do you want to get tortured in a slow, painful death, or would you like a quick one there, Azale?
Okay, all right, fair.
Okay. All right, back to
neither.
Back to the bottom lane.
Would you like to decay over time?
It's too real.
All right, let's check back in on our bottom lane action, as Sven does have his Storm Razor fully completed. Rahel has answered with the fully completed Essence Reaver. Thank you very much, MasterCard. Vulcan still looking to see if anybody's going to step a little bit too far forward. He can land a death sentence, but Hambach does show down here in the river. Blabber is also ready and waiting nearby. Keep your eyes on the Jarvan Dragon Strike. Remember that the last time they got that kill onto Hambach, it was because he used that too aggressively. He didn't have it available as an escape mechanism, and now Blabber is confident to start up the Drake. Here's the cost of that APA wave clear that we're talking about, because he just shoves the mid lane in so fast. Vulcan's going to be the target here from Sentinels. They want to full commit onto the enemy support, but the Cloud9 counterattack is there. The culling can't kill Vulcan. Sven's got the crescendum. He's trying to find the kill onto Huhi, but he's overextended. Rahel gets the kill back onto the Aphelios. Meanwhile, APA picks one up on Hambach. C9 coming out 2 for 1 so far, as Impact is trying to stick around, but he may regret it. Wants to flash away. A little bit more damage from Bouncing Bomb is not enough to secure it, and C9 will take the fight. They'll have the 1 extra kill, and they'll get Drake number 2.
It's just like that, up 2,000 gold, up 2 dragons to none, and it is a Hex Tech Dragon that is going to be available here for the soul in this one. Cloud9 again just winning out at these dragon fights. every single time. And to make matters even worse, that was the first time we've seen an ult from Darkwings this whole game. He has been kind of lane locked, but it's Cloud9 that end up pulling the trigger faster here. They're the ones that decide, you know what, we're going to just go immediately for this. Vulcan flashes in with that play, lanterns him back over. Darkwings ulted in, but he like ulted in to the middle of all of this damage and wasn't really able to contribute anything.
Yeah, I do like the snap decision from Vulcan too. As soon as he sees Lucian dash in on him, he says, this is illegal, you're not allowed to do that. And then they lantern Sven in. Sven had to immediately flash out of the Cataclysm too. And then they chased 2 different sides. So Sven did end up going down. That is like the small one little kernel for Sentinels. But it sets you up for a mid game where you're facing Dragon stacking and another gold lead from Cloud9. And it looks pretty painful again. And we'll see, maybe the next ult from Darkwings, they can make a pick on a side lane in like a safer scenario.
It's looking like it might be Thanatos' last chance to win player of the game in this series. Okay. So how's he doing, Kobe?
I mean, it's still pretty early. I think it's even.
It's even?
I think it's pretty close. Maybe, what do we have here? Vulcan might be pretty far up here. Sven's like, oh, we won lane. I'm pretty hard up here too. Thanatos did his job. So I'll go, it's pretty close.
Okay, pretty close.
Honestly, maybe
doing all right.
Maybe Blabber's kind of, Blabber might be ahead actually with the Maokai. Maokai value is crazy.
Worrying trend. Yeah. Also, Rek'Sai not the flashiest champ. So
no, not really.
But with Titanic, you can have pressure on carries. So you can actually kill carries in the back line, and he definitely
like that can-do attitude.
Yeah. I'm a Rek'Sai enjoyer for sure.
Yeah.
Titanic is goated, and we'll see. You know, he's got teleport advantage.
He can do some stuff.
Got teleport advantage.
Locket's completed for Blabber. I like it. Just when you're playing tank jungler, just go support items. Honestly, it just feels like it's way more impactful. The Zeke's is obviously really powerful and cheap, and then Locket as well. When you're thinking about TF, you're thinking of Jarvan, you're thinking of calling all of this upfront damage that's coming through from the Sentinels comp. Locket's going to help shut that down.
Blabber's approaching this Rift Herald that's already been started up by Sentinels. They've got the combo with the Maokai ulti plus the Mega Inferno Bomb, and there's your Nature's Grasp already used by Blabber. Mega Inferno Bomb down onto 3, and Vulcan's ready to follow it up with a nice death sentence onto Hambach. Darkwings primes the gold card. They want to try to see if they can put the pressure onto Sven, but they don't have enough damage to kill him. Hambach's going to drop, and Darkwings barely gets away. Sentinels trying to make these fights happen, but it's so difficult. Impact now could be caught here as well. Blabber locks him up with the twisted advance, and with Thanatos there, maybe that's your Titanic Hydra, Kobe. Maybe.
Give it to Thanatos, come on.
APA takes the next one. C9 will not get the Herald. So critically for Sentinels, they at least get the objective that they came here for, but C9 take the fight.
This combo is just so nice. You stack to avoid the Maokai ult, and then in comes the Ziggs ult immediately as they're all trying to stand behind Rahel, who has cleanse. They get AoE'd down so heavily, and then Darkwings is going in with Hambach. Sven basically doesn't care if they do no damage at all.
It's even funnier because, you know, you're Jarvan, you're like, you're stuck in my Cataclysm, and Twisted Fate teleports into your Cataclysm too. And you had Darkwings flash out of their own Cataclysm after ulting in point blank to the Aphelios. So you literally, like, Sven just like kicked them both out of their own Cataclysm and killed one of them too. If you come at the king, you best not miss.
That one wasn't missed.
That one was.
Well, now here in the mid lane, Rahel is in danger yet again. Thanatos trying to go for the execute here with the ulti, and there's your Titanic Hydra, Kobe. C9 get their pick.
Oh, we get MVP chance already here. Thanatos really, really wants to player of the game. So,
but we are fair voters here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be swayed by that.
He has the biggest individual gold lead in the game, man. He's smurfing. Look at that, 1.5 thousand gold. 2-0-2.
Honestly, it's looking pretty good.
I feel like APA's doing a lot and Blabber's doing a lot. Just gonna say, I feel like he's
hush your mouth.
Thanatos has been the beneficiary of some plays that are happening around him. You know, I'm not saying he's doing bad. He's doing fine. But the problem has been this damn mid jungle. They're too good. They've been stealing away so many of these player of the weeks and player of the games.
Yeah.
The Blappa combo is looking strong this year for C9.
The Blappa combo. I know you've been waiting to drop that one.
That's good.
That's a good one. To me, my first reaction when you said Blappa, it sounds like some sort of like whoopee cushion noise or something. Like, wow, Azael, that was a really loud Blappa right there.
Okay.
You're embarrassed, or Cloud9 are going to take another tower. You're proud, yeah.
C9 take the tower. The Dragon is started up by Sentinels, but C9 have a 5,500 gold lead if they just want to try to fight. There goes the Blabber. Ulti immediately followed up with a Mega Inferno Bomb. Aphelios ult from downtown, and Vulcan flashes forward, goes in for the play into the death sentence. The Dragon goes over to C9 here too, as Darkwings is already down. Hambach flashes over the wall, tries to get to safety. Blabber just gonna solo down Rahel with the tank Maokai as Vulcan looks for another. He's gonna bring Blabber closer. They're chasing after Huhi, but the Flay doesn't quite have the range. It's 3 kills plus a Drake for C9, who are 7,500 gold ahead.
I like Vulcan's moves, man. He's flashing over abilities. He's hitting it, multiple death sentences. You know, Mikhailsing himself to try and keep up the chase. But
he might be my player of the game.
Oh man, Cloud.
He's gonna smurfing too.
All these players on Cloud9 are players of this game for sure.
Sucks having a good team. It's tough out there.
It's too rough, man.
Out there.
It's a tough life.
Yeah.
And your team's up 10,000 gold.
35.
I'm starting my ult, okay?
Yeah. I'm gonna keep eye on
Okay. Yeah, I'm ulting now, ulting now. Ulting now, ulting now. Look here.
No, ice cleanse, ice cleanse, ice cleanse.
Yeah. No cleanse down.
I can block
Yeah,
Zion
watch out,
ult
Tor.
forever.
Big mid, A was near her.
Yeah.
I got TF, I got TF.
Yeah. I'm on Lucian.
No gold card.
I'm on Lucian slowly.
Hey, driving, Blabber.
Zion
I can
cannot
map
go
in
there.
Oh my god. Mad life.
I mean, he was smurfing in that fight.
Oh, yeah,
Good comms again. C9 is just seeming like they are on point. They're going to look for Sven, though.
Yeah, flash gold card, but the immediate flash from Sven. He pops the barrier and tries to survive, but Sentinels has enough damage. Now they got to be careful for the counterattack, because Thanatos has made his way in with a Blabber ulti right on top of him, goes for the kill on Rahel, and he dies too. That's 2 for 1 already here for C9, as Impact has to try to flash away. The Scion is not looking particularly tanky, as they juggle him around back and forth between Bramble Smashes and Flays and Zig Satchels. There's just nowhere for Impact to go. He'll go down farming, because it's the only thing the Scion's going to get. 10,000 gold lead for C9 20 minutes in.
It's actually player of the game material to give the Scion kill to your Ziggs and not take it. I would have saved my E. I would have saved my E to bite and steal that last kill. But he gave it to the carry.
-1. There you go. Man, look at this. Your TF, you're way behind. You're like, don't worry, guys. I'll gold card someone. 1 Mikhails, 2 Mikhails. That is tough. So they even have the double Mikhails now. So good luck finding a pick. You know what? I got to say, with the advantage of hindsight, maybe Vayne wouldn't have been so bad. Maybe we should have gone Vayne this game.
What would Vayne have accomplished here? That's the real question. But that's not an answer we're going to be able to find today. Yeah, that's an alternate timeline now, as we have 2 minutes until what'll be the Hex Soul for C9 spawns. Sentinels is just at a point where they need C9 to make a mistake. If C9 doesn't misclick, oh man, and sure enough, Vulcan just goes in for the hook onto Hambach, who tries to get away through the wall. Enough damage is there from Sven from all the way back on the riverside, and with the enemy jungler dead for the next 30 seconds, why not add a 21-minute Baron onto this already stomp of a game?
I mean, Vulcan is just smurfing now. He is just finding hook after hook. C9 obviously in an incredible spot, controlling the vision, and that allows you to really take over as a hook champ. And Darkwing's just going to have to ult down to bot. They're going to try to farm some gold on the other side of the map, but I mean, you lost Baron. It's Soul in a minute 30. You're down 11K. This game is looking over. This series is looking completely over. And C9 has just been on such a tear in playoffs. They've looked like by far the best team.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you know, only if they win.
Little question mark there. It's a mystery. But, you know, for Sentinels, obviously, they are still locked at least top 3. Assuming they do lose here, they would fall down and play the winner of TL versus LYON, who both look a lot better in their lower bracket debuts. So the Sentinels will have a tough challenge, I think, regardless of who comes through there.
They're trying to get an objective bounty right now with the Twisted Fate split push here, so.
Yep, that's the whole
goal.
Wait
for the audio. I love this part. I want to turn it up, actually.
I'm going to admit, underwhelmed.
I thought it was going to be louder.
It's no Grasp. Grasp has a great sound.
Maybe it's because when I hear that noise, I really need it usually. So it seems louder.
Sentinels going in, trying to find the move onto Blabber, who just immediately counterattacks with the Nature's Grasp into the Twisted Advance. They lock up Impact,
and they'll kill the Scion first. Blabber still might have to be a little bit careful of the dead body as Hambach already drops, and we've got ourselves a 5 versus 3 as Cloud9 are looking to put the finishing touches on this game. 23 minutes in, the Baron's still got a minute and a half left on it, and C9 have made their way onto the Nexus turrets. Dark Wings is just going to die again. The Twisted Fate was not the answer to their problems, and C9 are going to continue rampaging through the LCS. They will complete our weekend of clean sweeps. They will 3-0 Sentinels. They will earn themselves a spot in the finals, and they'll do all of it after they get done padding their stats just a little bit more, trying to get every last kill possible. Sentinels can't do anything about it, and C9 stomp the series.
Well, Golden Glue in the interview was asking, can he just first pick Ziggs like that? Yeah, he can. Turns out it's got to stay on the ban list. The Ziggs is looking good as ever. Cloud9 are looking better than ever. Spam chat now with your play of the game. Mine, I think, has got to be Vulcan. I feel like he was just on point, setting up so many plays on the Thresh.
He does not
100%
miss
KP
on that champion. And that 100% KP with 0 deaths. So it's really hard to beat those numbers. Thanatos, though,
valiant effort.
Very, very good effort. Good hustle out there.
Good hustle.
Yeah. Nice. Hey, he's still got next weekend to try to win himself a player of the game. C9 has already earned themselves a spot in the finals on Sunday. We'll see who they end up facing there, but whoever it is going to have their work cut out for them. Azale, you already said it, but C9 just seems so far above everyone else right now.
They really do. It's going to be up to the rest of the teams to try to prove that they can compete with C9.